Chapter 688. A top-grade Dao skill? Heavens, did I hear wrongly? He actually has a top-grade Dao skill and is using it as a betrothal gift. Is the foundation of a 9th-grade divine nation really so deep? A top-grade Dao skill is the most powerful martial arts in the Duhan continent. Even the East Sea Palace doesn't have it. Not only were the major forces stunned by Yi Qinfeng's betrothal gift, but even Yu Chan, Hemingway Map, and the others were shocked. The betrothal gift of the East Sea Palace was extremely precious, but compared to Yi Qinfeng's gift, it was indeed a little shabby. No wonder Yi Qinfeng had just ridiculed the East Sea Palace without holding back. Are you really willing to use a top-grade Dao skill as a betrothal gift? Yu Chan asked excitedly. The temptation of a top-grade Dao skill was too great. If he could obtain it, his strength would undergo an earth-shattering change. At that time, he wouldn't need to rely on any external forces. He could control everything with his own strength. Yes, the top-grade Dao skill and the top-grade Dao skill in my betrothal gift are tailor-made for the Yu family. Because they are two sets of demonic arts, those who cultivate demonic arts can achieve twice the results with half the effort. Yi Qinfeng nodded and continued to tempt Yu Chan. Really? I wonder if you can let me take a look at the top-grade Dao skill and demonic arts first. Although Hemingway Map and the others had gloomy expressions, Yu Chan couldn't resist the temptation of the Dao skill and demonic arts. After making a decision in her heart, she asked. Of course. Yi Qinfeng took out the jade slip that he had already prepared and said, "This jade slip contains 1/10 of the top-grade Dao skill and demonic arts cultivation chant. The Yu family will know its value after seeing it." So mysterious, this is really a top-grade Dao skill and demonic art. Yu Chan released her soul power and quickly browsed through the jade slip. She was deeply attracted by the profound cultivation chant of the heavenly demon dance in all directions. He had no doubt that as long as he could master this set of Dao skill, he would definitely have the strength to fight against a level 6 beast emperor. At that time, his position as the patriarch would be unshakable, and his ambitions would be further expanded. More importantly, if Yi Qinfeng was really the prince of Orochi Kingdom, then the benefits of having a relationship with him would far exceed those of the East Sea Palace. However, he had already promised the East Sea Palace in advance. If he went back on his word, he would undoubtedly embarrass the East Sea Palace. If that happened, the Yu family would completely break off from the East Sea Palace. This was something he did not want to see. Yu Chan had never had such a headache before. She was constantly weighing the pros and cons in her heart. Patriarch of the Yu family, don't tell me you want to go back on your word? Seeing Yu Chan's uncertain expression, Hemingway Map couldn't hold back the anger in his heart and said gloomily. Even the way he addressed Yu Chan had changed. Haha, Brother Mingtu, you're overthinking. Since I have already promised to marry Nikhang to Sanjian, I naturally won't go back on my word. After making a quick decision, Yu Chan still chose the East Sea Palace. The reason why he resisted the temptation of the top-grade Dao skill and chose the East Sea Palace in the end was because Yi Qinfeng's proposal was too sudden. He couldn't understand it, and he wasn't sure if Yu Nikhang would agree. If Yu Nikhang strongly resisted and angered Yi Qinfeng, then all his efforts would be in vain. Patriarch of the Yu family, I'm very disappointed in your choice. Yi Qinfeng frowned slightly and said, I don't know if I can change your mind if I add another top-grade Dao skill. Hearing Yi Qinfeng increase the stakes, Yu Chan was stunned. The experts of the Heavens Sword Palace and 9 Nether Mountain were also stunned. Even Hemingway Map's expression changed slightly. Not to mention Yu Chan, even Hemingway Map was tempted. However, he didn't know that Yi Qinfeng's final bet was his East Sea Palace's #1 Dao skill, the Triple Water Ultimate. Hai Sanjian, if you're a man, then fight me fair and square. The loser will give up on the marriage proposal, and give up on Nikhang. Do you dare? Just as Yu Chan was once again in a dilemma, Yi Qinfeng looked at Hai Sanjian, who had a gloomy expression and was trying his best to control his emotions. Hearing Yi Chunfeng's provocation, Hai Sanjian exploded with anger. However, he was indeed wary of Yi Chunfeng's identity and strength, so he didn't agree. Why wouldn't I dare? How about this? If I can't defeat you in 3 moves, then I'll admit defeat. If you can't even withstand 3 moves, then you're not worthy of Nikhang. Yi Chunfeng revealed an unruly smile as he looked at Hai Sanjian, whose eyes were burning with rage. Hai Sanjian was so frustrated that he was about to go crazy. All right, I accept your challenge. However, I want to add one more condition. If you can't defeat me in 3 moves, then crawl out of here and get as far away as you can. Hai Sanjian couldn't control the anger in his heart anymore and said angrily, "All right, I promise you." Yi Chunfeng agreed without hesitation. "Sanjian, be careful. If he dares to say that he can defeat you in 3 moves, then he must have something to rely on. Don't be careless." Hemingway Map, whose eyes were flashing with a sinister light, warned Yi Chunfeng through voice transmission. He couldn't stop this battle because he knew that if Hai Sanjian backed down, his reputation would be greatly affected, and it would even affect his martial arts heart. "Don't worry, father. I will definitely win this battle." With that, Hai Sanjian walked out and took out the redeemed water Dao spear. Sigh. Seeing the battle between Yi Chunfeng and Hai Sanjian, Yu Chan sighed softly and didn't interfere too much. After all, he didn't want to offend either side, so he could only let things develop. "Yi Chunfeng, I will make you pay for your arrogance." Hai Sanjian looked at Yi Chunfeng with hatred and said through gritted teeth. A blue square seal slowly floated out of his body, releasing a powerful pressure as it hovered above his head. Seeing the blue square seal summoned by Hai Sanjian, many people recognized the seal. The seal of the Sea Prince, one of the Quasi-Dao treasure son and mother seals of the East Sea Palace. It has both attack and defense and is extremely powerful, as expected of the second young master of the East Sea Palace. His foundation is indeed extraordinary. However, compared to me, he is still too far away. Yi Chunfeng revealed a disdainful smile. He sped up and approached Hai Sanjian, launching an attack. When Hai Sanjian controlled the seal of the Sea Prince to defend with all his might, the vermilion bird cauldron suddenly flew out of Yi Chunfeng's body, wantonly letting out ear-piercing bird cries. It was like a burning meteor as it heavily slammed into the seal of the Sea Prince. Boom! When the 2 Dao treasures collided, a deafening explosion immediately rang out. A powerful force instantly filled the hall, causing the hall's restrictions to tremble violently. In just a breath's time, the vermilion bird cauldron knocked away the seal of the Sea Prince and bombarded Hai Sanjian with undiminished power. Dao treasure! Feeling the destructive power contained in the vermilion bird cauldron, Hai Sanjian's expression changed greatly, and he tried to dodge with all his might. Ultimate Dao of mysterious underworld. At this moment, Yi Chunfeng sealed the space that Hai Sanjian could dodge in a flash. Numerous Dao intent shot out of his body and evolved into the ultimate Dao force that was like a raging dragon. It bombarded his body heavily and confused his soul spirit. Triple ultimate of water restriction, illusory shark water shadow. Unable to dodge, Hai Sanjian resisted the invasion of the illusory Dao intent and quickly counterattacked. He held the water Dao spear and executed the number 1 martial art of the East Sea Palace. He condensed a lifelike shark and forcefully blocked the attack of the vermilion bird cauldron and the ultimate Dao force. 7 Swords of Judgment. Hai Sanjian used offense as a form of defense. While he was defending with all his might, Yi Chunfeng condensed 7 killing halos and summoned the Emperor Sky Sword. As he slashed out with his sword, numerous Dao intents and close to 20 million kilograms of force blended together. The terrifying 7 types of killing force tore the space apart. With the will of judgment, he slashed towards Hai Sanjian, whose expression changed drastically as he sensed the aura of death. Enough! Seeing that Hai San Jian was about to be slashed in half by the terrifying 7 swords of judgment, Hemingway Map blocked in front of him and summoned a Hai San Jian statue that was holding the water god trident. It blocked the attack of the 7 swords of judgment and saved Hai San Jian's life. Mobile reading website, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 689. Yi Chunfeng looked at Hemingway Map, who was holding onto the Tao Treasure Sea God statue, and said rudely, "Sea God Palace Master, this seems to be a duel between me and Hai San Jian. What are you trying to do by interfering? If this was a normal duel, I naturally wouldn't interfere. However, since you want to kill my son, I can't sit back and do nothing." Hemingway Map looked at Yi Chunfeng with a sharp gaze. The terrifying aura emanating from his body made Yi Chunfeng feel suffocated. What a twisted argument! I have seen the shamelessness of the East Sea Palace Master. As Hemingway Map released a powerful aura to suppress Yi Chunfeng, the sword puppet walked over with heavy steps. It stood in front of Yi Chunfeng and said coldly, "Don't think that just because you are from the kingdom of God, you can look down on the eastern continent. If you anger me, don't even think about leaving this place alive," Hemingway Map said with a ferocious expression. "Haha, what arrogance!" The sword puppet laughed and said, "Hemingway Map, since you have interfered to stop the duel between the 2 juniors, then let's have a duel to decide who stays and who leaves." The sword spirit puppet took the Emperor's celestial sword from Yi Chunfeng's hands and pointed it at Hai Mingtu as it spoke in an overbearing tone. Middle-grade Tao artifact. Sensing the aura emanating from the Emperor's sky sword, Hemingway Map's expression changed slightly. Although he had the sea god statue, one of the treasures of the East Sea Palace, he wasn't confident that he could defeat the sword puppet. Once he was defeated as well, there would be no turning back for this matter. However, as the master of the East Sea Palace and the person with the greatest authority in the eastern continent, he had never suffered such humiliation. If he couldn't respond in the most domineering manner, he would become the laughing stock of the eastern continent and lose all his dignity. "Please calm down and listen to me." Yuchan felt that something was wrong when she saw the 2 men who were about to fight to the death. She quickly appeared between them and tried to dissuade them with a bitter smile. "Everyone, I should be the main character today. Why don't you listen to my opinion?" Just as the battle was about to break out and the atmosphere was stifling, Moon Raymond, who had been silent all this time, suddenly stood up and spoke. "All right." Yuchan's eyes lit up. She nodded and asked, "Nikhang, between San Jian and Yi Feng, who do you prefer?" Now that Yu Nikhang had stepped forward, she had undoubtedly solved a huge problem for him and taken some of the pressure off him. "I choose Yi Feng." Yu Nishang suddenly revealed a smile that could topple kingdoms. She looked at Yi Chunfeng with eyes full of affection as she spoke loudly. "You!" Hai San Jian, who had just been humiliated by Yi Chunfeng, was so angry that he almost vomited blood when he heard Yu Nichang's choice. His whole body trembled. It could be said that Yu Nichang's choice was like a sharp dagger that ruthlessly stabbed into the softest part of his heart, shattering the pride in his heart. Hai San Jian would have gone crazy on the spot if he didn't have some misgivings. "Nikhang, have you really thought it through?" Yuchan was surprised to hear that Yu Nikhang had chosen Yi Feng without any hesitation. "Father, I won't hide it from you at this time. In fact, I have already pledged my life to Yi Feng. Just the day before yesterday, I was already Yi Feng's woman. So, I won't marry Hai San Jian." Just as everyone was discussing Moon Raymond's unexpected choice, Moon Raymond threw out another bombshell, causing a huge commotion that shook the heavens. "What?" Yuchan wasn't the only one who cried out in surprise. Even Hemingway Map, who was always calm in the midst of the chaos, cried out in surprise. Hai Sanjian was even more dumbfounded on the spot. An indescribable sense of shame filled the depths of his soul. As the second young master of the East Sea Palace, when had he ever suffered such humiliation? His fiancée had the most intimate relationship with another man on the eve of the engagement, and she even announced it in public on the day of the engagement. This made him unable to control the anger in his heart. Like an enraged lion, he roared, "I'll kill you!" Buzz. As soon as Hai Sanjian's voice fell, the sword puppet attacked. An unparalleled sword light cut through the air, carrying an unstoppable attack power as it slashed towards him at a speed that was difficult to be seen with the naked eye. Be careful! Hemingway Map had been on guard against the sword puppet. The moment the sword puppet attacked, Hemingway Map immediately used the sea god statue to block it. Bam! A dull sound was heard as Dtion's sword light struck the sea god statue, which was emitting rays of blue light. Countless ripples were created as if a lotus flower had bloomed in the air. Yu-chan, if you don't give me a satisfactory answer today, the East Sea Palace will sever all ties with the Yu family from now on. Hemingway Map was infuriated as he roared in anger. Nick Heng, can you tell me what is going on? Looking at the enraged Hemingway Map, Yu-chan knew that only by pushing all the blame to Yu Nick Heng would there be a chance for reconciliation. However, Yu-chan still supported Yu Nichang's choice from the bottom of her heart. Once she received the betrothal gifts from Yi Chunfeng, the Yu family would surpass the East Sea Palace in less than 100 years and become the most powerful force in the Eastern continent. She would also have the chance to become the most powerful person in the Eastern continent. Father, I have already said that I hate Hai Sanjian and don't want to marry him. However, Yi Chunfeng is the person I like. I am willing to give my virginity to him. I have no regrets. Yu Nick Heng was like a cold and elegant wintersweet as she looked at Hai Sanjian with disdain, and said resolutely, "Pfff." In a fit of anger, Hai Sanjian vomited blood after hearing Yu Nichang's words and sat on the ground. "Yu-chan, what a good daughter you have raised. The East Sea Palace will not let you off." Sakuraji saw that Hai Sanjian vomited blood after being angered by Yu Nick Heng, and her face became extremely gloomy. She glared at Yu Nick Heng and roared loudly, "Everyone, calm down and listen to me." Yu-chan felt that the development of the situation was somewhat out of her control, so she could only mediate. "Yu-chan, what else is there to say? Do you think that Sanjian will still marry your shameless daughter?" Hemingway Map roared with a livid face and the muscles in his eyes twitching violently. "Brother Mingtu, this matter is indeed Nichang's fault. Whatever compensation you want, I will agree to it. Please don't lower yourself to the child's level." In order to ease the relationship between the East Sea Palace and the East Sea Palace, Yu-chan could only push all the blame to Yu Nick Heng. "Compensation?" Hemingway Map sneered and said, "Can the Yu family compensate for the reputation of the East Sea Palace? Nick Heng, it's too chaotic here. Let's leave this place first." Seeing that the two forces had completely broken apart, Yi Chunfeng wanted to take this opportunity to take Yu Nick Heng away and leave this place. Just as the situation was in complete chaos, a person that Yi Chunfeng did not expect appeared and sealed the entrance of the hall. "Yi Chunfeng, where are you going?" Mo Fengyun, who was wearing a black robe and had hazy eyes, revealed a cold smile. He looked at Yi Chunfeng, who was playing with everyone in the palm of his hand, and said coldly. Yi Chunfeng, as soon as Mo Fengyun's voice fell, the chaotic hall instantly quieted down. Pairs of surprised eyes were cast at Yi Chunfeng. Yu Nichang's heart also tightened at this time. She had never dreamed that such an unforeseen event would occur when the plan was about to succeed. "Why? Do you still want to hide it in front of me?" Looking at Yi Chunfeng's cold face, Mo Fengyun revealed a cruel smile and said, "Yi Chunfeng, you can't escape today." Mobile reading site, book address. In order to facilitate your next reading, you can click on the Save button below to record this reading record. You can see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 690. Yi Qinfeng. Mo Fengyun, are you saying that he is Yi Qinfeng, not the Prince of Divine Nation? Yu Chan asked in disbelief, his eyes wide open. If the person in front of him was really Yi Qinfeng in disguise, not only would his efforts be in vain, but he would also become the laughingstock of the Eastern continent. Head of the Yu family, I am 100% sure that he is Yi Qinfeng. The Prince of Divine Nation is just an identity he is pretending to be, Mo Fengyun said without a doubt. Who are you? Who is Yi Qinfeng? After a short panic, Yi Qinfeng calmed down and asked Mo Fengyun coldly. Yi Qinfeng, do you still want to pretend at this time? Mo Fengyun said with a cold smile, I have many ways to make you show your true form. Do you believe me? Boy, who the hell are you? Yu Chan roared angrily. He could not accept that the plan he had painstakingly worked on was ruined, and he could not accept that the alliance that was supposed to be against a common enemy had turned into a mortal enemy. Head of the Yu family, I don't know if you believe the Orochi order or his nonsense. With that, Yi Qinfeng took out the Orochi order again and raised it high above his head. Qingfeng, the plan has changed. Don't worry about me. Find a way to get out of here. Just as Yi Qinfeng was holding the Orochi order to intimidate the crowd, the anxious Yu Nikhang suddenly transmitted a message to Yi Qinfeng. If we are going, we will go together. I can't leave you alone, Yi Qinfeng replied firmly. Qingfeng, do you remember what I told you? No matter what, you have to live. As for my safety, you don't have to worry. At most, I will be punished, but I won't lose my life. But, Yu Nikhang looked tenderly at Yi Qinfeng as she transmitted her voice to him. There are no buts. If you die, everything will be over. For our future, you must leave this place alive. I will wait for you at the Yu family. I will wait for you to marry me when you have truly grown up. Alright, Nikhang, you have to take good care of yourself. I will definitely come to the Yu family and marry you in 3 years at the latest. Yi Qinfeng took a deep breath and promised through telepathy. His thirst for power grew even stronger. Yi Qinfeng, I find that you are really good at making things up. You used a fake Hakone order to deceive everyone. Do you think that at this time, anyone will believe your nonsense? While Yi Qinfeng and Yu Nikhang were communicating via telepathy, Mo Fengyun sneered. It's fake. Yu Nichang's face grew darker and darker. Looking at Yi Qinfeng's slightly frowning eyebrows, she felt that she had been fooled, completely fooled. Haha, you said that my Hakone order is fake. Well, I will ask the masters of my Hakone kingdom to come here and let them tell you whether my Hakone order is fake or not. Yi Qinfeng laughed loudly and took out a messaging pearl from his bosom. Then, he sent a voice transmission in a very serious manner. Nikhang, take care. Just as Yi Qinfeng used the communication pearl to mobilize the experts of the Octave Divine Nation and made them not dare to act rashly, he glanced at the moon raiment reluctantly. Suddenly, he and the sword spirit puppet soared into the sky and flew out of the main hall like 2 flying arrows. Damn it, you are really fooling me. Seeing Yi Qinfeng's escape, Yu Nikhang was completely convinced that Yi Qinfeng's identity as the prince of the Hakone kingdom was fake. She roared angrily out of humiliation and mobilized the masters of the Yu family to kill Yi Qinfeng. At the same time, Hemingway Map, Sakuraji, and the others also chased after Yi Qinfeng. Being fooled by a junior made Hemingway Map go crazy. If he let Yi Qinfeng escape, he would become the laughing stock of the Eastern continent, just like Yu Nikhang. What's more, Yi Qinfeng had treasures that made him jealous, so he would not allow Yi Qinfeng to escape. Suzaku Cauldron, open the way. Yi Qinfeng spat 2 mouthfuls of blood essence into the Suzaku Cauldron at all costs, stimulated the Suzaku soul, and slammed into Mo Fengyun, who was blocking the entrance of the hall. Heavenly demon dance in all directions. Mo Fengyun knew that now was the best time to kill Yi Qinfeng, so he quickly took out the heavenly demon Tao weapon and fused it with the power of the demon heart. While greatly increasing his strength, he also executed his strongest move, sealing off all of Yi Qinfeng's escape route. Fiend God Bloodline Ignition, Fiend God Body. At this critical moment, Yi Qinfeng no longer hid his strength. He instantly transformed into his Fiend God body that seemed to be cast from copper and iron. A power that could destroy all things erupted from his body. Heavenly Tao is merciless. 8 heavenly Tao runes flew out of his body, transformed into a terrifying heavenly might, and fiercely bombarded one of the heavenly demon Tao shadows. The terrifying destructive power forcibly shattered it. In the next moment, Yi Qinfeng erupted with nearly 40 million pounds of force. Like a meteorite, he crashed into the heavenly demon Tao shadows without any reduction in speed. Relying on his body that was comparable to a quasi-Tao treasure, he shattered the heavenly demon Tao shadows that were full of cracks. Just as Mo Fengyun continued to attack with the Sky Fiend Tao soldier, the sword spirit puppet approached him with the Empyrean celestial sword. Dozens of sharp sword flashes interweaved and completely enveloped him, forcefully interrupting his attacks and forcing him to retreat. Although the sword puppet's strength was enough to kill Mo Fengyun, there were too many experts in the Yu family. Yi Qinfeng did not dare to continue fighting and quickly escaped with the sword puppet from the Yu family residence. Where do you think you are going? At this moment, the superior Hemingway map closed the distance between him and Yi Qinfeng. He controlled the Tao Treasure Sea Deity statue to continuously expand and attack Yi Qinfeng with astonishing destructive and divine power. Seeing that Yi Qinfeng was about to be hit by the Sea Deity statue, the sword puppet suddenly blocked Yi Qinfeng's back. It used its indestructible body to block the Sea Deity statue's attack. What kind of body is this? Hemingway Map saw that the sword puppet had used its body to block the Sea Deity statue's attack and was not injured at all. His eyes widened, and he looked as if he had seen a ghost. Demonic statue, suppress him. At this moment Yu Chan also chased out. She took out the Yu family's clan treasure, the Tao treasure demonic statue, and suppressed the sword puppet. The moment the demonic statue suppressed the sword puppet, a large area of space was distorted. The terrifying demonic power was enough to instantly kill an emperor-level expert. After being attacked by the demonic statue, the sword puppet ignored it and allowed the demonic statue to smash its body. It held the emperor's celestial sword and attacked Hemingway Map. Streaks of shocking sword radiance forced him to retreat. Family heads, he is not human. He is Yi Qinfeng's clone. As long as we kill Yi Qinfeng, he will not be a threat anymore. Mo Fengyun knew the sword puppet's true strength and shouted at Hemingway Map and Yu Chan, who were astonished. Clone. What kind of legacy did Yi Qinfeng receive? He actually has such a terrifying clone. Hemingway Map's eyes were burning with desire. He had the thought of taking the sword puppet for himself. Using the sword puppet as a hindrance, Yi Qinfeng quickly flew to the periphery of the Yu family residence. Just as he controlled the Suzaku cauldron and was about to crash into the Yu family residence's restrictions to forcefully break out, an aura that terrified him appeared. A silver-haired old woman in a long red dress who still retained her charm appeared eerily in the void. She released a powerful aura and locked onto Jiang Yi. Junior, do you think you can just leave after creating havoc in the Yu family residence? The silver-haired old woman said with a hoarse voice. As she spoke, she struck out a palm across the void. The powerful palm force caused the air to churn violently as it blasted towards Yi Qinfeng with great force. Not good. Sensing the power of this palm, Yi Qinfeng's expression changed slightly. He dodged without hesitation and had no choice but to retreat back to the Yu family residence. Your reaction is not slow. However, this still won't change anything. The silver-haired old woman revealed a sinister smile. A power that suffocated Yi Qinfeng was released from her withered body. Level 5 Combat Beast Emperor. Sensing the sudden burst of power from the silver-haired old woman, Yi Chunfeng's expression changed drastically. The appearance of the old monster from the Yu family had caused him to fall into a desperate situation. Mobile reading website, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 691. Mother, you're here. Yu Nikhan was overjoyed when she saw the silver-haired old woman appear. Her appearance completely controlled the situation. Yi Chunfeng would no longer have a chance to escape. Grandmother, I beg you to let Chingfeng go. As long as you let Chingfeng go, I'll do anything you want me to do. At this moment Yu Nishang caught up. When she saw the silver-haired old woman forcing Yi Chunfeng back, her heart fell to the bottom of the valley. She shouted in despair. Nikhang, why are you still so stubborn? The silver-haired old woman looked at Yu Nikhang with disappointment. She ordered loudly, Housekeeper Su, take Nikhang to my Yu family's forbidden area. When she comes to her senses, let her out. If she continues to be stubborn, then she can wither away in the forbidden area for the rest of her life. Yes, great elder. The old housekeeper respectfully obeyed. He quickly used his powerful soul force to bind Yu Nikhang and forcefully took the screaming Yu Nikhang away. Senior Yu, your Yu family has played around with my East Sea Palace. Shouldn't you give me an explanation? Hemingway Map's expression became extremely ugly when he saw the silver-haired old woman appear. He asked in a low voice. Although he was very powerful and controlled the sea goddess statue, he was unable to gain any advantage in front of the silver-haired old woman. It could be said that the appearance of the silver-haired old woman had destroyed his thoughts of taking Yi Chunfeng's treasures for himself. Palace Mistress Hai, I know what you want. Once we kill him, I will split his treasures with you, the silver-haired old woman said with a hoarse voice. All right. Hemingway Map nodded and agreed to the silver-haired old woman's suggestion. They prepared to work together to kill Yi Chunfeng and take his great fortune. Great Elder, can you help Chingfeng? Jian Chun originally wanted to help, but he was restrained by the Great Elder of the Heaven's Sword Palace, so he had no choice but to beg. Nonsense. Do you know the consequences of helping him now? Do you want our Heaven's Sword Palace to become the target of public criticism? Great Elder Jian reprimanded loudly. Jianchen, isn't your friend a little too bold? He actually played around with the head of the East Sea Palace and the head of the Yu family. Now, no one can save him. If he wants to live, he can only rely on himself. Jian Molly grabbed Jian Chen's arm firmly and sighed gently. What you need to do is to live on properly and avenge him when you have enough strength. Does Chingfeng really not have a chance? Seeing Yi Chunfeng surrounded by so many experts, Jian Chun felt despair. He could not bear to continue watching. Yi Chunfeng, I really didn't think that you would be so bold. Not only did you come to the Yu family alone, you even played us in front of everyone. If I don't let you taste all the pain in the world, I won't let you go to hell. Yu Chan looked at Yi Chunfeng viciously as she gnashed her teeth. When he thought about how his painstaking plan had gone down the drain, he had the urge to cut Yi Chunfeng into 1,000 pieces. You want to kill me? I'm afraid you won't be enough. In the face of danger, Yi Chunfeng calmed down. Although today's situation seemed hopeless, he decided to fight to the death for Yu Nikhang. He had to survive no matter what. Yi Chunfeng, I really don't know if you're really stupid or just faking it. With your strength as a 6th-rank Beast King, do you think you can escape from our hands? Yu Chan sneered. How do you know if you don't try? Life Spirit Technique, Life Ignition. Yi Chunfeng roared and instantly burned 5,000 years of his life force. A powerful life force erupted from his body, constantly increasing his strength. In less than a breath's time, Yi Chunfeng's cultivation level rose from a level 6 Reverse Beast King to a level 5 Combat Beast Emperor. His terrifying power, which was like a volcanic eruption, shocked everyone present. What kind of secret technique is this? Feeling Yi Chunfeng's strength increase to a 5th-rank Beast Emperor, everyone present was dumbfounded. They could not believe their eyes. It could be said that Yi Chunfeng's life spirit technique was beyond their imagination and understanding. It made them feel uneasy from the bottom of their hearts. Don't hesitate. Let's attack together and kill this brat. The silver-haired old woman's pupils shrank. A low-grade Dao artifact dragon-head walking stick appeared in her hand. With a piercing cracking sound, she attacked Yi Chunfeng. The moment the silver-haired old woman attacked, Yu Chan, Hemingway Map, Sakuraji, Mo Fengyun, 9 Phantom Mountains Great Elder and the others attacked at the same time. They wanted to seriously injure Yi Chunfeng and capture him. Sword puppet, protect me! At this critical moment, Yi Chunfeng ordered the sword puppet to protect his body and defend against the attacks of Hemingway Map and the others. He then controlled the Suzaku Cauldron to face the silver-haired old woman. After burning his life force to become a 5th-rank Beast Emperor, Yi Chunfeng's Suzaku Cauldron's attack increased by more than 10 times. When the Suzaku Cauldron collided with the silver-haired old woman's dragon-head walking stick, endless flames surged out, causing cracks to appear in the void. Scarlet Thunder Bead. The moment the Suzaku Cauldron blocked the silver-haired old woman's attack, the Scarlet Thunder Bead suddenly flew out of the Suzaku Cauldron and attacked the silver-haired old woman at close range, dealing her a fatal blow. Water Soul Silk. As the Yu family's great elder, the silver-haired old woman had many tricks up her sleeves. Before the Scarlet Thunder Bead could release the thunder of death, a silk cloth with flowing water flew out of her body and wrapped around the Scarlet Thunder Bead, forcefully blocking it. At this time, the attacks of Yu Chan, Hemingway Map and the others all landed on the sword puppet. The terrifying destructive power forcefully devoured it. Just when everyone wanted to jump over the sword puppet and launch a fatal attack on Yi Chunfeng, a shocking sword ray pierced through the void and tore apart the destructive storm, slashing towards them. The terrifying attack forced them to retreat. When the sword puppet, which was comparable to a level 6 combat beast emperor, defended against the attacks of Hemingway Map and the others by itself, Yi Chunfeng took out 2 great ominous swords and attacked the silver-haired old woman, forcefully breaking out of the encirclement. Sky Demon Form, Sky Demon Body. Yi Chunfeng used the Life Soul technique and burned 5,000 years of his lifespan to increase his strength. The silver-haired old woman was greatly pressured, so she did not dare to be careless. She used the Yu family's only high-grade Dao technique, transforming into the Sky Demon Body with monstrous demonic aura, greatly increasing her strength. She held the dragon-head walking stick and attacked Yi Chunfeng with all her might. Heavens Merciless! The dragon-head walking stick, which was like a black dragon, attacked. 10 runes of Heaven's Way shot out from Yi Chunfeng's body and bombarded the dragon-head walking stick, blocking the silver-haired old woman's attack. In the next moment, an earth-shattering roar of a beast was released from Yi Chunfeng's body and bombarded the silver-haired old woman at close range. Oh no! The silver-haired old woman did not expect Yi Chunfeng to have such a terrifying beast soul. It was too late for her to dodge, so she could only face the roar of the Chaos Divine Beast head-on. 20 streaks of chaotic energy break. While the silver-haired old woman was facing the roar of the Chaos Divine Beast head-on, Yi Chunfeng used his most powerful attack. 20 streaks of chaotic energy shot out from his body and intertwined, turning into a ray of light and bombarding the silver-haired old woman with irresistible force. PFFF, PFFF, PFFF. The silver-haired old woman, who could not dodge in time, was struck by the 20 streaks of chaotic energy. Her body's defense was immediately broken. The terrifying chaotic energy directly penetrated her body, causing a large amount of blood to spurt out uncontrollably. 7 Swords of Judgment, Judgment. When the silver-haired old woman was severely injured by the chaotic energy, 7 killing halos appeared behind Yi Chunfeng. The rolling, killing energy emanated from his body. He slashed down with the sword of great ominous. The terrifying sword of judgment was mixed with the will of the great Tao. It was like the Milky Way above the starry sky, carrying with it the will to judge the world. It ruthlessly slashed the silver-haired old woman's body, causing her to fall to the ground from mid-air. One of the two pillars of the Yu family, the silver-haired old woman, was severely injured. Mobile reading website, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 692. How is this possible? Yu Chan's eyes widened when she saw Yi Chunfeng severely injure the silver-haired old lady. She looked as if she had seen a ghost. She couldn't believe that Yi Chunfeng had the ability to severely injure one of the two pillars of the Yu family, the silver-haired old lady. Even Hemingway Map was shocked. He was shocked by Yi Chunfeng's combat prowess after he used his secret technique. This kid must be killed. Otherwise, he will become a huge threat to the Yu family sooner or later. After witnessing Yi Chunfeng's shocking methods and strength, Yu Chan made up her mind. She decided to expose the Yu family's hidden strength and kill Yi Chunfeng with all her might. Yu family demon guards, seal off the Yu family. Yu Chan took out the Yu family's family head token, which had been passed down for nearly 1,000,000 years. Using the power of the family head token, she passed down an important order to the strongest hidden strength of the Yu family. Soon, nearly 100 demon guards wearing black armor and wielding sharp demon weapons appeared in the chaotic Yu family mansion. They sealed off the entire Yu family mansion. Yu family demon guards. I didn't expect Yu Chan to send out the Yu family's greatest reliance, the Yu family demon guards, just to kill Yi Chunfeng. Looking at the expressionless Yu clan's demon guards that exuded a murderous aura, Great Elder Jian, who did not interfere, shook his head and said, "Grand Elder, are the Yu family demon guards very powerful?" Jian Mali asked. This was the first time she had seen the Yu family demon guards. The reason why the Yu family is able to suppress our heaven's Sword Palace and 9 Phantom Mountain is because of the Yu family demon guards. Legend has it that the Yu family demon guards have been passed down for hundreds of thousands of years. They are refined from the bodies of Emperor Realm experts. Not only do they have shocking offensive and defensive power, but they also know nothing but slaughter. They are practically invincible in the same realm. Grand Elder Jian explained everything he knew about the Yu family demon guards to Jian Mali and the others. That means that Yi Chunfeng is dead for sure, Jian Mali said regretfully. That's right. That Yi Chunfeng will definitely die. There's no doubt about it. First Elder Jian sighed as he looked at the pale Jian Chun. Sword puppets return. The Yu clan's demon guards sealed off the escape route. Yi Chunfeng, who smelled the thick scent of danger, immediately summoned the sword spirit puppet back, preparing to break out with him with all his might. Yu family demon guards, kill him! Yu Chan, who was filled with murderous intent, looked at Yi Chunfeng coldly and gave the order to kill. He ordered nearly 100 Yu family demon guards to hold sharp demon weapons and launch a fierce attack at Yi Chunfeng. Wrath of divine punishment. Close to 100 Yu family demon guards filled with killing intent rushed over. Yi Chunfeng did not hesitate to summon the 3 great sky spirits and fuse them together, forming the power of divine punishment that engulfed the entire space and bombarded the front. Boom! The terrifying power of the divine punishment exploded like a star, engulfing the heaven and earth, instantly engulfing the Yu clan demon guard in front. Crescent slash. The sword spirit puppet quickly burned a large amount of energy and wielded the Emperor's celestial sword. It slashed out a crescent moon-like sword beam and directly slashed into the wrath of God's punishment, sending more than 10 Yu family demonic guards flying. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 Yu family demon guards approached Yi Chunfeng and attacked his body with their sharp weapons. They wanted to penetrate his body. However, the sword spirit puppet reacted even faster. It used its indestructible body to block Yi Chunfeng's back, blocking the demonic weapons that pierced through the void and came at him. Suzaku Cauldron, Scarlet Thunderball, kill them. While the sword puppet blocked the attacks, Yi Chunfeng summoned his 2 Dao treasures and attacked 2 Yu family demon guards. Bam! Bam! The 2 Yu family demon guards could not withstand the combined attacks of the Suzaku Cauldron and Scarlet Thunderball. Their black armor was instantly shattered, and their bodies turned into minced meat that rained down from mid-air. Sword puppet charge. After killing 2 Yu family demon guards, the remaining Yu family demon guards continued to attack with their weapons. Faced with the overwhelming number of demon guards, Yi Chunfeng and the sword puppet soared into the sky and dodged with all their might. Kill. After dodging close to 100 Yu family demon guards, Yi Chunfeng and the sword puppet turned back and dove down from midair. They charged into the group of Yu family demon guards. 7 Swords of Judgment. Empyrean Sword Art. Yi Chunfeng wielded the 2 swords of ominous and unleashed nearly 40 million kilograms of force. He continuously executed powerful Dao techniques and attacked the Yu family demon guards in all directions. Under his control, the Suzaku Cauldron and Scarlet Thunderball revolved around his body and defended with all their might. After burning 5,000 years of his lifespan, Yi Chunfeng's strength had reached an extremely terrifying level. The Yu family demon guards could not withstand his ferocious attacks at all. In addition to the Chaos Divine Beast's continuous roar attacks, the Yu family demon guards could not withstand the combined Dao Intense and 40 million kilograms of force. They exploded and died. Yi Chunfeng and the sword puppet worked together and were like 2 invincible gods of war. They continuously tore apart the defensive line of the Yu family demon guard. The entire spatial zone was in chaos. Countless spatial cracks extended in the spatial zone. It was as if the entire spatial zone could collapse at any moment. Damn it. Does Yi Chunfeng have copper skin and iron bones? He can't even die after so many attacks. Yu Chan's face darkened as she looked at Yi Chunfeng, who was covered in blood but was getting more and more courageous. In just a short while, more than 20 Yu family demon guards had been killed by Yi Chunfeng and the sword puppet. Yu Chan's heart was bleeding. She did not dare to let the Yu family demon guards continue to surround and kill them. Heaven Dao is merciless. When Yi Chunfeng and the sword puppet met up, Yi Chunfeng decisively executed his killer move. 10 Heaven Dao patterns shot out from his body and formed a tyrannical Heaven Dao prowess. They bombarded the bodies of several Yu family demon guards in front of him, following which the Sword Dao pattern, Thunder Dao pattern, Death Dao pattern, and other Dao patterns fused into the 2 swords of Great Omen. Yi Chunfeng slashed with all his might. 2 terrifying sword lights that resembled the reverse flow of the Milky Way streaked across the sky. They carried the divine judgment intent and ruthlessly slashed at the Yu family demon guards that were sent flying by the Heaven Dao. Primordial Chaos Roar. Crescent Sword Arc. At this moment, the Chaos Divine Beast and the sword puppet also burst out with shocking attacks and bombarded the front. Boom, boom, boom. Following a series of earth-shattering explosions, 8 Yu family demon guards could not withstand the attacks and exploded in midair. They were completely destroyed. Damn it. Yu family demon guards, listen to my order. Stop attacking. He might be the clan head of the Yu family, but the Yu family demon guards were the foundation of the Yu family. The loss of any one of them would be a huge loss, let alone the loss of more than 30 of them. When she saw Yi Chunfeng and the sword puppet working together to kill the Yu family demon guards, Yu Chan panicked and ordered loudly. It is too late to leave now. Yi Chunfeng roared as he and the sword spirit puppet chased after the Yu clan's demon guards that were retreating with all their might. So valiant. That Yi Chunfeng is too ruthless. Damn, am I dreaming? Not only is he not escaping, but he is actually chasing after the Yu family demon guards. Is he even human? When they saw Yi Chunfeng and the sword puppet chasing after the terrifying Yu family demon guards, everyone's jaws dropped. They were petrified. Yi Chunfeng, you are courting death. Yu Chan let out an uncontrollable roar. Never in his wildest dreams would he have thought that the trap he had set up would be broken by Yi Chunfeng just like that. Yu Chan, I have already told you. You can't kill me, Yi Chunfeng said domineeringly. He and the sword spirit puppet continued to exchange sword rays, chasing after the Yu clan's demon guards who were fleeing in panic. Soon, a few more Yu family demon guards were killed. Yu Chan was so angry that she almost vomited blood. She held the demon puppet in her hand and attacked with all her might. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 693. Golem, Awaken Your Power. At Yen. Yu Chan spat a few mouthfuls of blood at the Dao treasure golem and activated its power. 2 rays of dim light shot out from the golem's eyes and pierced towards Yi Chunfeng, making him feel as though he was being stared at by the Grim Reaper. The next moment, the golem started to expand. Boundless demonic aura was released from the golem and dyed the entire sky black. Yi Chunfeng, leave your life behind. The golem's power was completely awakened. Yu Chan immediately controlled the golem to attack Yi Chunfeng. She wanted to make use of the golem's power to severely injure Yi Chunfeng. Suzaku Cauldron. The golem attacked with overwhelming demonic aura. Yi Chunfeng's soul power was constantly infused into the Suzaku Cauldron as he controlled the Suzaku Cauldron to meet the golem's attack. Under the amplification of the Suzaku soul, the power of the Suzaku Cauldron increased exponentially. The 2 Dao treasures clashed in mid-air and exploded with boundless energy. It was like a raging wave that swept across the void. Madam, let's activate the Sea God statue to kill him together. Just as Yi Chunfeng and Yu Chan were controlling their Dao treasures to attack each other, the Hemingway map and Sakuraji approached. Under the couple's control, the Sea God statue, one of the most important treasures of the East Sea Palace, transformed into a towering statue. It was like a statue of the sea god. It held a huge trident and attacked Yi Chunfeng with astounding power. Buzz. When the sea god statue attacked Yi Chunfeng, it burned up a lot of energy. The sword puppet, which was comparable to a grade 6 combat beast emperor, immediately blocked the sea god statue and slashed with the emperor's sky sword. Under the sword spirit puppet's all-out attack with the Empyrean Heaven Sword, every sword radiance that he slashed out tore through the void, leaving behind a terrifying sword scar. Every sword scar was filled with a terrifying destructive power. What are all of you still standing there for? Hurry up and attack. Whoever can severely injure Yi Chunfeng will be rewarded with a pseudo-Dao core and a pseudo-Dao treasure. Yi Chunfeng used his life spirit spell and burned 5,000 years of his lifespan to increase his combat power beyond imagination. Yu Chan couldn't suppress him even with the help of the demon statue's power. She had no choice but to order the Yu family's elites to join forces. Roar of Chaos. As soon as Yu Chan was distracted, the divine beast of chaos seized the opportunity and released a deafening roar. It shattered the heavy air and bombarded Yu Chan fiercely. Heavenly Demon Dance. Looking at the roar that was like a tidal wave, a terrifying demonic shadow immediately appeared behind Yu Chan. It carried a monstrous demonic aura as it collided with the roar. The Heavenly Dao is heartless. The 2 powerful attacks collided. 10 Heavenly Dao runes shot out from Yi Chunfeng's body, transforming into Heavenly Dao energy that swept through the sky, directly killing the Devil Shadow. 7 Swords of Judgment, Annihilation. Following that, Yi Chunfeng didn't care about the depletion of his soul power and slashed out with the annihilation sword light. Rumble! The air in front of Yuchan couldn't withstand the attack of the annihilation sword light, and a vacuum region appeared. It was as if the entire space couldn't withstand the power of this sword and could collapse at any time. Heavenly demon form, silent millstone. Facing Yi Qinfeng's wave after wave of attacks, Yuchan didn't panic. She quickly transformed into her strongest heavenly demon form and condensed the silent millstone that crushed the void, blocking the annihilation sword light's attack. Boundless energy permeated in mid-air, and the terrifying power shook the sky and distorted it continuously. As Yu Chan's attacks were neutralized one after another, Yi Qinfeng suddenly drew an afterimage in mid-air, tearing apart the destructive storm and approaching Yuchan at a speed that was hard to see with the naked eye. Just as Yuchan condensed the monstrous demonic shadow to continue attacking Yi Qinfeng, the scarlet lightning ball suddenly flew out of Yi Qinfeng's body and shot towards Yuchan at lightning speed. Oh no! Yuchan's expression changed slightly as the scarlet lightning ball was right in front of her. The Tao intent in her body completely erupted, condensing into a ghost god claw that could tear apart heaven and earth, and forcibly grabbing the scarlet lightning ball. Thunder of death explode. Yi Qinfeng's mind moved, and the scarlet lightning ball emitted boundless thunder of death. It directly tore apart the ghost god claw and swept towards Yuchan. The terrifying thunder of death forcibly blasted Yuchan back several meters. Just as Yi Qinfeng was about to follow up with another attack, his sharp senses suddenly sensed danger behind him. Without even thinking, he instinctively turned around and threw out a punch. The punch hit the black spear that was coming at him like a long dragon. After transforming into his fiend god body, Yi Qinfeng's physical body was comparable to a quasi-Dao treasure. In addition, Yi Qinfeng's fist was filled with close to 40 million force points and rolling killing power. With one punch, the black spear was bent. A powerful rebounding force passed through the black spear and into the arm of the 9 Phantom Mountains' great elder, who had ambushed him. The shock caused his arm to go numb, and a large amount of blood seeped out from the surface of his cracked skin. Instant kill sword. After knocking the 9 Phantom Mountains' great elder back with one punch, the great ominous sword suddenly appeared in Yi Qinfeng's hand. In an instant, he stabbed out 36 times as fast as lightning. PFFF, PFFF, PFFF. After the 9 Phantom Mountains' great elder blocked 30 swords with all his might, his arms, which were bleeding profusely, almost lost all feeling. He could no longer block the remaining 6 swords. His body's defense was broken, and a large amount of blood spurted out from his body. Yi Qinfeng had forcefully injured the 9 Phantom Mountains' great elder. Mo Fengyun and the other great elders of the Yu family surrounded him and attacked him with all their might. 7 Swords of Judgment. Emperor Heavenly Sword Art. Facing the attacks of Mo Fengyun and the others, Yi Qinfeng did not dodge. Instead, he relied on his body, which was comparable to a quasi-Dao treasure, to withstand the endless attacks and continuously used powerful Dao techniques to counterattack. Streaks of sword radiance swept across the heavens and earth, splitting the chaotic sky apart. In an instant, the sky above the Yu family residence was filled with sword and saber radiance. Endless waves of wind surged like the waves of the sea. The terrifying power made it seem as though the end of the world had arrived. Monster. That Yi Qinfeng is actually a peerless monster. If he doesn't die today, his future achievements will be limitless. Great Elder Jian was shocked by Yi Qinfeng's terrifying battle strength, and his heart could not calm down for a long time. Jian Chun and Jian Mali were also stunned by the scene before them. It could be said that Yi Qinfeng's battle strength had exceeded their imagination. Just as Yi Qinfeng ignored his injuries and fought with all his might, his powerful soul power suddenly felt a terrifying aura appear. This aura was even more terrifying than the silver-haired old woman that he had just injured. It was only a step away from becoming a level 6 combat beast emperor. It's the old ancestor. He has finally come out of seclusion. Looking at the black figure that was stepping on the void and flying towards them at an extremely fast speed, the experts of the Yu family recognized him. He was the Yu family's old ancestor, Yu Gu, who was the oldest and the strongest in the Yu family. He had been in seclusion for a long time, trying to become a level 6 combat beast emperor. Sword puppet, don't continue fighting. Let's break out of the encirclement. When Yu Gu appeared, Yi Chunfeng immediately wanted to retreat. He flew out of the Yu family mansion with the sword puppet. Because Yi Chunfeng and the sword puppet's battle strength was too terrifying, the experts could not stop them at all. They broke through the encirclement and flew to the edge of the Yu family mansion. Space Swallower, devour the restrictive formation. Following that, Yi Chunfeng summoned the Space Swallower and ordered it to devour the Yu family mansion's restrictive formation. Junior, you have destroyed my Yu family mansion to this extent. Do you still think you can leave? When Yu Gu saw the severely damaged Yu family mansion, the severely injured silver-haired old lady, and a large number of Yu family demon guards' corpses, he was enraged. He took away the demon statue in Yu Chan's hands and attacked Yi Chunfeng. Under Yu Gu's full control, the demon statue's destructive power was completely unleashed. Wherever it passed, cracks would appear. Sword puppet, defend with all your might. Upon receiving Yi Chunfeng's order, the sword puppet held the Ascendant Sky Sword and used its indestructible body to block the demon statue's attack. Yu Gu realized that the sword puppet was unharmed after taking the demon statue's attack head-on. While he was surprised, he controlled the demon statue to continue attacking. However, no matter how he controlled the demon statue to attack, it could not harm the sword puppet at all. While the sword puppet was enduring the demon statue's indiscriminate attacks, the Space Swallower bit a hole in the Yu family's restrictive formation. Yu Chan, I will be back. I hope that you will not regret your decision today. Yi Chunfeng roared domineeringly, and kept the sword puppet and the Space Swallower into the universe mirror. Before Yu Gu and the rest could stop him, he burned his golden rock wings and flew out of the hole in the restrictive formation. He disappeared into the chaotic Yu family mansion. 30/30709 Mobile Reading Website. Book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 694. He escaped. That Yi Chunfeng escaped just like that. This Yi Chunfeng's strength is too terrifying. Even such a lineup couldn't kill him. I reckon that it won't be long before his name resounds throughout the entire Eastern continent. That's right. The title of #1 monster of the 4 continents will definitely be his. I wonder what will happen when he comes back to the Yu family. #. Witnessing the scene of Yi Chunfeng killing his way out of the encirclement, everyone present was shocked by his astonishing battle prowess. Many of them even revealed gloating smiles. Everyone of the East Sea Palace, heed my order. Follow me back to the East Sea Palace. Hemingway Map, who had suffered the greatest humiliation in his life, glared at Yu Chan, whose face was ashen. She was unable to accept reality, and ordered angrily. The two factions that were supposed to form a solid alliance had completely fallen out after Yi Chunfeng's incident. The situation in the Eastern continent had also changed greatly because of this. You family head, we still have matters to attend to. We will take our leave first. After Hemingway Map and the others left, the 9 Phantom Mountain and the Sky Sword Palace also found excuses to leave. Very quickly, the Yu family residence that was bustling with noise and excitement a moment ago became cold and cheerless. Many of the Yu family's disciples felt as if they were in a dream. Yu Chan, follow me. Yu Gu had been in seclusion in the Yu family's forbidden area, trying to break through to level 6 combat beast emperor. He didn't know what had happened outside. However, the Yu family had been established in the eastern continent for hundreds of thousands of years, and had never suffered such a heavy blow before. He also wanted to know the background of the person who had turned the Yu family upside down. Yes, father. Yu Chan, who was feeling aggrieved, obeyed obediently. She knew that if she couldn't appease Yu Gu's anger, her position as the Yu family head that had just been secured would be in danger. Meanwhile, Yu Shan, who had long given up on the position of patriarch, revealed a pleasantly surprised expression at this moment. He felt somewhat grateful to Yi Chenfeng in his heart. Tell me, what happened just now? Who is the person who turned my Yu family upside down? After arriving at the Yu family's forbidden grounds, Yu Gu sat on a chair made of 10,000-year-old cold jade. He looked coldly at Yu Chan and questioned her in a low voice. This is all because of that damned girl, Nikhang. Although Yu Nikhang was his biological daughter, Yu Chan had the urge to strangle Yu Nikhang to death at this moment. He gritted his teeth and explained everything in detail. You're saying that the young man who turned my Yu family upside down is a poor lad with no background who came from an ordinary country? After hearing Yu Chan's explanation, Yu Gu's brows knitted tightly together. He was a little suspicious of Yu Chan's words. If Yi Chenfeng had any power or influence and was of no value to the Yu family, I wouldn't have interfered with his relationship with Nikhang. Yu Chan nodded as she spoke. Then what do you think of him based on what happened just now? Yu Gu pondered for a moment before asking. This, although Yu Chan didn't want to admit it, she knew that she had misjudged Yi Chenfeng. Regardless of whether it was in terms of talent, strength, or trump cards, they were all far beyond her expectations. His future potential was limitless. Yu Chan, I know that you're trying to promote the marriage between Nikhang and Hai Sanjian. Apart from consolidating your position in the Yu family, it's also for the development of the Yu family. However, I have to say that you've made a huge mistake. This mistake could lead to the destruction of the Yu family. Yu Gu sighed softly. Father, I admit that Yi Chenfeng is very monstrous. However, if he wants to shake the foundation of the Yu family, he's still far from it. Yu Chan said in a low voice. Right now, he's indeed unable to shake the foundation of the Yu family. However, what about 10 or 100 years from now? Isn't today's lesson enough? As long as he's given enough time to grow, he'll definitely reach a level that we can only look up to. Yu Gu said sternly. Then what should we do? When Yu Chan thought about how Yi Chenfeng's heaven-defying methods had failed to trap him, she realized how serious the situation was. Yu Chan, let me ask you, do you think that there's any room for reconciliation between the Yu family and Yi Chenfeng? Yu Gu asked in a low voice. No. There's no room for reconciliation between the Yu family and Yi Chenfeng. Yu Chan shook her head and said, Since there's no room for reconciliation, then we'll destroy Yi Chenfeng at all costs before he truly matures. Yu Gu's eyes revealed a trace of viciousness. Father, you're saying that we should use Nikhang to lure Yi Chenfeng out? Yu Chan's eyes lit up. She didn't care about Yu Nichang's life or death. No. None of you can touch Nikhang. She's the Yu family's final trump card. She's a trump card that can play a decisive role in the final moments. Once we fail to kill Yi Chenfeng, perhaps Nikhang can save the fate of the Yu family. Yu Gu shook his head and said, Father, if we don't use Nikhang as bait, then how are we going to lure Yi Chenfeng out? Yu Chan asked with a frown. Go and call Mo Fengyun over. Perhaps he has a way to help us find Yi Chenfeng. Yu Gu said. Yes, I'll call Mo Fengyun over. Yu Chan's eyes lit up and immediately went to look for Mo Fengyun. After a while, Yu Chan brought Mo Fengyun to the Yu family's forbidden area. Fengyun greets Sect Master Yu. Seeing the number one person in the Yu family, Yu Gu, who was one step away from becoming a level 6 combat beast emperor, Mo Fengyun put away his usual arrogance and quickly walked forward and bowed respectfully. Fengyun, if I'm not wrong, you want to get rid of Yi Chenfeng more than we do. Yu Gu said straightforwardly. That's right. That Yi Chunfeng destroyed my Western demon sect. I can't wait to tear his tendons and skin him alive. Mo Fengyun nodded and said, Your Western demon sect was destroyed by Yi Chunfeng. Yu Gu raised his eyebrows and revealed a surprised expression. Not long ago, that Yi Chunfeng came to my Western demon sect and destroyed all my effort. He also robbed my 1,000 years of collection. Mo Fengyun did not hide anything and told everyone about how Yi Chunfeng destroyed the Western demon sect. Looks like we've really underestimated that Yi Chunfeng. He's definitely a true dragon that we shouldn't offend. However, since there's no possibility of reconciliation between us, we must get rid of him. Otherwise, he'll definitely become a huge threat to us. Fengyun, I asked Yu Chan to call you over because I want to ask you if you have a way to force that Yi Chunfeng out? Yu Gu asked slowly. Yes. Mo Fengyun pondered for a moment and said, that Yi Chunfeng comes from the northern continent and has a close relationship with the #1 faction in the northern continent, the Misty Mountain. Back then, it was because I destroyed the Misty Mountain that I became enemies with that Yi Chunfeng. Therefore, as long as we capture the people of the Misty Mountain and spread the word, with that Yi Chunfeng's temperament, he'll most likely come to rescue us. That's a good idea. Yu Gu's eyes lit up and said, Mo Fengyun, I'll leave the matter of capturing the people of the Misty Mountain to you. Are you willing? Fengyun is willing to serve the Yu family. Mo Fengyun lowered his head and expressed his stance. However, the moment he lowered his head, a sharp glint flashed across his eyes. Very good. When the time comes, I'll send 3 demon guards of the Yu family to cooperate with you. As long as you can capture the people of the Misty Mountain alive, I promise to help you rebuild the Western demon sect. Yu Gu nodded with satisfaction and promised. Thank you, Sect Master Yu. Mo Fengyun cupped his fists and said gratefully. All right. In order to prevent any unexpected events from happening, you should head to the northern continent now. Yu Gu said, Yu Chan, send 3 Yu family demon guards to the western continent with Fengyun. This time, we can't afford to fail again. Yes. After speaking, the 2 of them left the Yu family's forbidden grounds. Yi Chunfeng, for the future of the Yu family, you have to die. When Mo Fengyun and Yu Chan left, Yu Gu's eyes revealed a trace of ruthlessness and revealed his ruthless nature. 30/30709 Mobile Reading Website. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 695. North Star City was one of the most famous hub cities in the northern continent. Every day, a large amount of treasures, spirit items, and soul skills would flow into North Star City, attracting a large number of experts from the northern spiritual region. This also caused North Star City to be very chaotic. Killing people on the streets and robbing them was a common occurrence. However, in this chaotic environment, there was a transcendent power that stood tall in North Star City. No one dared to provoke them, and that was Bei. One day, a tall young man wearing a white martial arts suit, with eyes like cold stars, and an extremely cute little girl with a rosy face and baby hair, came to North Star City. After asking around, they went to the Heaven's Secret Pavilion, which was more than 10 meters tall, in the shape of a pagoda, and was built in an ancient style, exuding an ancient aura. This man and woman were none other than Yi Chunfeng and Ling Yu, who had escaped from Moon State City and returned to the northern spiritual region after many twists and turns. Yi Chunfeng had escaped from Moon State City and returned to the northern spiritual region immediately because he knew that the Yu family would not let him go and would try to kill him. Mo Fengyun understood him better and knew his relationship with the Misty Mountain. It was very likely that he would use the Misty Mountain to force him to appear. In order to avoid a calamity in the Misty Mountain, Yi Chunfeng planned to find Shui Piaoling and the rest in advance and bring them to avoid danger. We've arrived at the Heavenly Mystery Pavilion. Yi Chunfeng raised his head and looked at the 3 large words Heavenly Secrets Pavilion written on the dark golden plaque. Then, he walked into the pavilion with the spirit fish. The pavilion was covered with powerful restrictions and exuded an ancient aura. You too, are you looking for information? Just as Yi Chunfeng walked into the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion while holding the spirit fish's soft hand, a charming woman wearing a black silk dress walked out and asked expressionlessly. She had dark purple hair casually draped over her shoulders, and she wore light makeup. She had a charming appearance. Yes, we're looking for information. Yi Chunfeng nodded and said, What level of information are you asking for? Our Heavenly Mystery Pavilion sells information, and we charge according to the level of information. The purple-haired girl secretly sized up Yi Chunfeng and Ling Yu and said indifferently, Does your pavilion discuss business outside? Yi Chunfeng looked deeply at the purple-haired woman and said coldly, Come with me. After saying that, the purple-haired woman left Yi Chunfeng and Huang Xiaolong with a beautiful silhouette. She led them through the layers of restrictions and arrived at the 3rd floor of the Heavenly Secret Pavilion. Tell me, what do you want to know? The purple-haired woman ordered someone to pour 2 cups of dark green spirit tea for Yi Chunfeng and Li Wuyo. Then, she gracefully sat across from them and asked with an expressionless face, Do you know where I can find life elixirs or water of life? During the battle with the Yu family, although Yi Chunfeng had displayed terrifying battle prowess and shocked everyone, he had burned 5,000 years of his lifespan. In order not to affect his future cultivation, he urgently needed to recover the life force that he had burned. Sir, please forgive the Pavilion of Divination for not being able to help you with the information you wish to obtain. The purple-haired woman frowned slightly. She did not expect Yi Chunfeng to want to know about such a rare item. Yi Chunfeng was not surprised by the purple-haired woman's answer. In the beginning, he did not have much hope. After all, treasures like life elixirs were extremely rare in the entire Duhan continent. If this information were to spread out, Emperor-level experts would fight over it. Then, can your pavilion help me find out the exact location of Misty Mountain? Yi Chunfeng continued asking. Misty Mountain. The purple-haired woman's eyes revealed a trace of coldness that was hard to detect. She said in a low voice, Our Heavenly Mystery Pavilion does know the location of Misty Mountain. However, Misty Mountain was the #1 power in the northern continent back then. Selling this information to you will be taking a huge risk. Therefore, this information is very expensive. How expensive is it? Yi Chunfeng took a sip of the fragrant tea and asked slowly. 1 billion medium soul crystals. The purple-haired woman demanded an exorbitant price. Deal. Although 1 billion medium soul crystals was a sky-high price, Yi Chunfeng had 10 billion medium soul crystals after looting the Western Demon Sect's treasury. He agreed without even thinking. He took out 2 yin-yang rings and said, There are a total of 1 billion medium soul crystals in these 2 yin-yang rings. You can count them. Looking at the 2 yin-yang rings handed over by Yi Chunfeng, the purple-haired woman was stunned for a moment. The way she looked at Yi Chunfeng changed slightly. To be able to take out 1 billion medium soul crystals so easily, it was enough to show that Yi Chunfeng was not simple. After a brief moment of shock, the purple-haired woman took the 2 yin-yang rings handed over by Yi Chunfeng. She released her soul force and quickly counted them. After confirming that there were no mistakes, she said, According to our Heavenly Mystery Pavilion's investigation, Misty Mountain has been hiding in Sword Valley for the past few years. If you want to find people from Misty Mountain, you can try your luck in Sword Valley. Are you sure that the people from Misty Mountain are in Sword Valley? Yi Chunfeng frowned slightly and asked in a low voice. When Yi Chunfeng met Jian Chen had told him that the people from Misty Mountain had left Sword Valley. Therefore, he expressed his doubts about the purple-haired woman's information. This is the information from our Heavenly Mystery Pavilion's investigation. However, we don't know if there are any other changes. The purple-haired woman said indifferently. Sigh, your Heavenly Mystery Pavilion is really disappointing. I can tell you clearly that Misty Mountain is no longer in Sword Valley. They have gone somewhere else. And you have two choices now. Either you investigate the whereabouts of Misty Mountain again, or you return the 1 billion medium soul crystals to me. Yi Chunfeng said in an overbearing manner. What big words! My Heavenly Mystery Pavilion has stood tall in the northern continent for several thousand years. What kind of people have we not seen? You are not enough to threaten us. The purple-haired woman's face immediately darkened as she said coldly. When she crushed a white crystal, the restrictions of the Heavenly Mystery Pavilion immediately increased in power, sealing off the entire pavilion. 4 defiant beast kings charged in and surrounded Yi Chunfeng and the spiritual fish. Sigh, I really don't want to fight. Why force me? Yi Chunfeng sighed softly. The Tao of water and the dual polarity ancient heavenly water gushed out from his body and attacked the 4 defiant beast kings near him. Under the amplification of the water Tao intent, the power of the dual polarity ancient heavenly water became even more terrifying. In the blink of an eye, the 4 defiant beast kings were frozen into ice sculptures by the dual polarity ancient heavenly water. This bizarre scene frightened the purple-haired woman so much that her face turned pale and her heart turned cold. Are you Yi Chunfeng? Just when Yi Chunfeng lost his patience and wanted to search the purple-haired woman's soul, a white-robed, slightly skinny old man with white hair and a ruddy complexion appeared and said Yi Chunfeng's name. You are, Yi Chunfeng slightly raised his brows. A mountainous aura was emitted from his body, fiercely suppressing the white-robed old man. I didn't know you recognized this token. Enduring the terrifying aura released by Yi Chunfeng, the white-robed old man's forehead immediately beaded with sweat. He quickly took out a purple gold token from his sleeve and asked, Misty token. You are from Misty Mountain. Yi Chunfeng immediately recognized the token in the white-robed old man's hand. It was the Misty token unique to Misty Mountain. Young Master Yi, it seems to be you. Please don't harm the 4 of them. Seeing that Yi Chunfeng recognized the Misty token, the white-robed old man was basically certain of his identity and hurriedly said, Okay. With a thought, Yi Chunfeng unfrozen the dual polarity ancient heavenly water and released the 4 defiant beast kings. Young Master Yi, this is not the place to talk. Please follow me. After saying that, the white-robed old man transmitted a few words to the purple-haired woman and led Yi Chunfeng and the purple-haired woman to the secret room on the highest floor of the Divination Pavilion. 30/30709 Mobile Reading Site. Book address. To make it easier for you to read next time, you can click the Save button below to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 696. Young Master Yi, miss, please have a seat. The white-clothed old man revealed a friendly smile and said slowly. See, how did you recognize me? Yi Chunfeng looked at the white-clothed old man who had no hostility and asked. Young Master Yi is the benefactor of Misty Mountain. Back then, when young Master Yi was chased by Mo Fengyun and went missing, Sect Master Shui gave young Master Ye's portrait and physical characteristics to this old man and ordered this old man to use the spies of the Sky's secret pavilion to find young Master Ye's whereabouts. Therefore, this old man is very familiar with young Master Ye's appearance. The white-clothed old man slowly explained. I didn't expect the power behind the Sky's secret pavilion to be Misty Mountain. Yi Chunfeng said with a faint smile. The Sky's secret pavilion was built by an ancestor of Misty Mountain 50,000 years ago. However, not many people know about this, so when something happened to Misty Mountain, my Sky's secret pavilion was not implicated. The white-clothed old man nodded and said, Senior, where are Sister Piaoling and the others now? I have something very important to talk to them about. Yi Chunfeng asked. Not long ago, our divination pavilion discovered a spiritual mountain that had never been explored before at the intersection of the northern continent and the southern continent. It is very suitable for our Misty Mountain to rebuild our sect. After a discussion between the sect master and the Grand Elders, we have decided to go there and rebuild our sect, waiting for an opportunity to rise again. But who would have thought that when Misty Mountain was purchasing materials and rebuilding the sect in the spiritual mountain, we were discovered by the spies of the southern continent's overlord, Myriad Beast Mountain, which led to a series of conflicts. The white-clothed old man explained in detail. In that case, Misty Mountain's current situation is very bad. Yi Chunfeng did not expect Myriad Beast Mountain to interfere again. He frowned slightly and asked, Yes, Sect Master and the others are in a very bad situation. With our Misty Mountain's current strength, we are indeed unable to contend against the 10,000 Beast Mountain. If the 10,000 Beast Mountain insists on occupying that spiritual mountain, our Misty Mountain can only give up. The white-clothed old man sighed softly. Senior, please give me a map of the spiritual mountain's location and inform Sister Piaoling to delay as much as possible. Wait for me to go meet Myriad Beast Mountain. Time was of the essence. Yi Chunfeng did not waste any more time and requested. Qingfeng, the strength of the 10,000 Beast Mountain is very strong, not much weaker than the Western Devil sect. I suggest that we don't have a direct confrontation with them. The white-robed old man solemnly reminded. Don't worry, Senior. The Western Devil sect has already been destroyed by me. If that 10,000 Beast Mountain doesn't know what's good for them, I don't mind letting them follow in the footsteps of the Western Devil sect and disappear from the southern continent. Yi Chunfeng revealed a trace of an unruly smile as he spoke in an overbearing manner. What? The Western Devil sect was destroyed by you? The white-robed old man's eyes widened and his jaw dropped. He could not believe what he had just heard. Yes. Wait until I resolve the crisis of Misty Mountain, then we'll talk about it in detail. Senior, quickly give me the map of Spirited Mountain. Yi Chunfeng urged. All right. The way the white-robed old man looked at Yi Chunfeng changed drastically. He immediately handed the map of Spirit Mountain to Yi Chunfeng. Lingyu, let's go. Yi Chunfeng quickly memorized the location of Spirited Mountain and left the Heaven's secret pavilion with Lingyu. He summoned his soul wings and flew towards Spirited Mountain at top speed. Just as Yi Chunfeng and Lingyu were rushing towards Spirited Mountain, Shui Piaoling encountered a big problem. Piaoling, this one fell in love with you at first sight. What do you think? Are you willing to marry me as a concubine and form a marriage alliance with my 10,000 Beast Mountain? As long as you agree, not only will I give you this Spirited Mountain full of opportunities, I will also send experts from my 10,000 Beast Mountain to help Misty Mountain rebuild the sect. The sect master of the 10,000 Beast Mountain, Shou Liuyun, lecherously looked at Shui Piaoling's arrogant face and graceful body as he spoke with ill intentions. What if I don't agree? Shui Piaoling looked at Shou Liuyun with disgust. If it wasn't for the 10,000 Beast Mountain's terrifying strength and robbing too much of Misty Mountain, she would have already dug out Shou Liuyun's eyeballs. Don't agree? Shou Liuyun revealed a cold smile and said with a threatening tone, Piaoling, my patience is not good, and my temper is not good. If you don't agree, I might use force. Shui Piaoling did not expect Shou Liuyun to be so shameless. She was so angry that her face turned pale and her body trembled. Piaoling, do you know how many people in the entire southern continent want to marry me as a concubine? It's your fortune that I have taken a liking to you. Don't be ignorant of your fortune. Furthermore, this is the only chance for Misty Mountain to rebuild. If you miss this chance, you will regret it for the rest of your life. Shou Liuyun looked at Shui Piaoling's pale face and said without any trace of politeness, Shou Liuyun, my Misty Mountain does not welcome you. Please leave immediately. Just when Xue Piaoling was being humiliated, the two mainstays of Misty Mountain, Xue Songqin and Xue Tianqi, walked out from the mountain and said furiously. After Misty Mountain suffered such a calamity, Xue Songqin and Xue Tianqi were under great pressure. However, under the pressure, they both broke through and reached rank 1 combat beast emperor. Damn it, this is not the place for you two old fellows to speak. If you know what's good for you, get lost immediately. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite. Shou Laiyun looked at Xue Songqin and Xue Tianqi with disdain and scolded them mercilessly. Shou Laiyun, although my Misty Mountain is not as strong as your Myriad Beast Mountain, if you force us into a corner, we will not let you off easily. Xue Songqin warned angrily. She had never suffered such humiliation before. Ha ha ha, with just the two of you? The rank 3 combat beast emperor Shou Laiyun laughed wildly and suddenly blasted a punch towards Xue Songqin. The terrifying fist radiance compressed the Tao intent and terrifying power to the extreme. It shattered the layers of air and pressed towards Xue Songqin, whose expression changed greatly. Boundless Tao. Feeling the destructive power in Shou Laiyun's fist, Xue Songqin's expression changed greatly and immediately used her powerful Tao intent to resist. Boom! When the two powerful attacks collided, Xue Songqin's boundless Tao was immediately shattered. The terrifying fist radiance with unparalleled destructive power blasted towards her chest. Misty Heaven Bell. At the crucial moment, Xue Songqin took out the Misty Mountain Town's sect treasure, the Misty Heaven Bell, and used it to block in front of her to resist Shou Laiyun's destructive fist. Although Xue Songqin had resolved the crisis, Shou Laiyun's shocking strength made them fearful. Once Shou Laiyun went berserk, they would not be able to resist with their strength. Piaoling, I will ask you one last time. Do you agree to be my concubine? Shou Laiyun had completely lost his patience and asked aggressively. Xue Piaoling originally wanted to refuse, but she was afraid of angering Shou Laiyun and causing greater harm to herself. She was at a loss and was at a loss. Just when Xue Piaoling fell into a deep panic and beads of sweat appeared on her forehead, the communication bead in her arms suddenly vibrated. Under Shou Laiyun's ferocious gaze, she instinctively opened her communication bead. When she heard the contents of the message, a kind of shock and excitement filled her beautiful face. Her flustered heart suddenly had a backbone. Sect Master Shou, I wonder if you can give me 5 more days. I will definitely give you a satisfactory answer after 5 days. Xue Piaoling calmed down her flustered heart and said with a pleading tone. What if I don't agree? Shou Laiyun looked at Xue Piaoling's expression that changed in an instant. He slightly frowned and said coldly. Sect Master Shou wouldn't want a dead person, right? Xue Piaoling's eyes revealed a trace of fearlessness and said resolutely. Alright, I will give you 3 more days. After 3 days, you must give me a satisfactory answer. Otherwise, don't blame me for not giving you a chance. Looking at Xue Piaoling's fearless eyes, Shou Laiyun hesitated. However, he wholeheartedly wanted to obtain Xue Piaoling's pure body. In the end, he suppressed the fire in his heart and decided to give them 3 more days. Moreover, he also wanted to make a good deployment to wipe out Misty Mountain. In the face of absolute strength, he didn't believe that Xue Piaoling and the others could play any trick. However, Shou Laiyun didn't know that the person he feared from the bottom of his heart, Yi Chunfeng, was on his way. 30/30709 Mobile Reading Site. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 697. Sigh, let's give up on this spiritual mountain. With our Misty Mountain's foundation, it is indeed not enough to occupy this blessed land. Seeing Shou Laiyun leaving with the experts of the Myriad Beast Mountain, Xue Songqin sighed softly, revealing a trace of helplessness. Grand Elder, there might be a turning point. Thinking of the news from the communication pearl, Xue Piaoling's pale face revealed an excited smile. Turning point? What turning point? Xue Songqin and Xue Tianqi looked at each other, unable to think of any turning point in this adversity. Grand Elder, Master, let's find a quiet place to talk. Xue Piaoling could not hide the joy in her heart. She smiled sweetly and brought Xue Songqin and Xue Jiaoling to the depths of Spirit Mountain. In a secluded valley, she set up a soundproof restriction to seal off the valley. Piaoling, what is this turning point you speak of? Who sent you a message just now? Xue Songqin looked at Xue Piaoling's smiling face and asked. It was the fifth elder in charge of the Heavenly Mystery Pavilion. He told me that Qingfeng has returned and is on his way. Xue Piaoling couldn't hide her excitement as she said. Qingfeng has returned. He really escaped the pursuit of Mo Fengyun. Hearing this news, Xue Songqin and Xue Tianqi also revealed excited expressions. In their opinion, as long as Yi Qinfeng was given enough time to grow, with the strength and talent he displayed, he would definitely be able to hold up the sky for the Misty Mountain. Since Qingfeng has returned safely, then all the more reason for us to withdraw from this spiritual mountain and not have a direct confrontation with the myriad beast mountain. Xue Tianqi decided. That's right. With Qinfeng's talent, we can at most endure for another 10 years before he fully matures. At that time, let's see who dares to bully us. Xue Songqin nodded in agreement. Grand Elder, Master, maybe we don't need to wait for 10 years. Xue Piaoling said with a smile. Don't need 10 years, you mean? Xue Songqin and Xue Tianqi opened their eyes wide as a bold idea emerged in their minds. Just now, the fifth elder told me that Qingfeng's strength has become extremely terrifying. The Western Devil sect has already been destroyed by him. Xue Piaoling said in a shocking manner. What? Hearing this news, not only was Xue Tianqi dumbfounded, even Xue Songqin, who was always calm in the face of chaos, was dumbfounded. She couldn't believe that Yi Qinfeng had grown to such an extent in a short 2 years. Wandering, do you think that person is an impostor just to confuse us? Annihilating the Western Devil sect in 2 years, do you believe it? The West Devil sect was the #1 power in the Western continent. It had a very deep foundation. Even if the 8 great saint lands wanted to destroy it, it would be very difficult for them to do so. Therefore, Xue Tianqi was suspicious about the matter of the West Devil sect being destroyed by Yi Qinfeng. This, Xue Tianqi's words made the snow fall. Xue Songqin seemed to have been splashed with a bucket of cold water. The smile on her face froze. When they thought about it carefully, the matter of Yi Qinfeng annihilating the West Devil sect was indeed somewhat inconceivable and beyond common sense. Wandering, send a message to the fifth elder and ask for the details. Tianqi, gather all the disciples in Spirited Mountain. If anything happens, we'll break out. Xue Songqin said seriously. All right. Xue Piaoling and Xue Songqin nodded. In order to prevent any accidents from happening, they started to deploy their full strength. At the same time, in order to make Xue Piaoling surrender and obediently offer up her pure body, Shou Liuyun constantly mobilized the experts of the 10,000 Beast Mountain to rush to the outside of the spiritual mountain. They surrounded the spiritual mountain that was like a paradise, exerting pressure on Xue Piaoling and breaking down her mental defenses. Could it be that Master was right? That person is not Qingfeng? Looking at the gradually darkening sky and thinking that tomorrow was the 3-day deadline and Yi Qinfeng still hadn't shown up, the hope in Xue Piaoling's heart was shattered bit by bit. She didn't dare to imagine what kind of humiliation she would have to endure if she was forcefully taken away by Shou Liuyun. However, Spirited Mountain was sealed off by the experts of the 10,000 Beast Mountain. She had no way out. If she didn't comply, it was very likely that it would bring a devastating disaster to the Misty Mountain. At this moment, Xue Piaoling felt that her world had completely darkened. Qingfeng, where are you? For some reason, Xue Piaoling, who was in a desperate situation, kept thinking about Yi Chenfeng's figure. As she thought about it, 2 lines of tears flowed out from the corner of her eyes and dyed her beautiful face. Just when the entire Misty Mountain was shrouded in a haze and Xue Piaoling and the others were in despair, a vague figure appeared outside Spirited Mountain. And this vague figure was Yi Chenfeng, who had flown from North Star City to Spirited Mountain after nearly 3 days of rushing. So many experts. It seems like Sister Piaoling and the others are in a bad situation. Yi Chenfeng's sharp senses discovered many experts outside Spirited Mountain and surrounded it. His face instantly turned gloomy. Whoosh! Yi Chenfeng's body flashed slightly and disappeared into the gradually darkening sky like a ghost. He entered Spirited Mountain without anyone noticing. Using his soul perception, he quickly discovered Xue Piaoling. Who is it? Xue Piaoling, who was staring blankly at the sunset, suddenly felt the aura of a stranger approaching. She immediately woke up from her crying and became alert. But in the next moment, Xue Piaoling seemed to have been struck by lightning. She was stunned on the spot and her mind went blank. Although the aura was completely different, when Xue Piaoling saw Yi Chenfeng, she was 100% sure that the person in front of her was Yi Chenfeng. It was just that the current Yi Chenfeng had lost some of his childishness and had more of the vicissitudes of life. It's really him. Chenfeng is really back. Looking at Yi Chenfeng's familiar face, Xue Piaoling's eyes became moist and tears fell like rain. The huge pressure and grievances she had suffered for the past 2 years all came rushing to her heart. Sister Piaoling, I'm back. Looking at Xue Piaoling, who was crying and whose face was wet, Yi Chenfeng suddenly felt a heartache and said gently, Chenfeng. Yi Chenfeng's gentle voice echoed in Xue Piaoling's ears. For some reason, Xue Piaoling had the urge to jump into his arms. She bit her wet lips and quickly ran over. Looking at Xue Piaoling, who was running toward him, Yi Chenfeng subconsciously opened his arms. But thinking of Xue Piaoling's identity and his respect for her, Yi Chenfeng's arms stopped halfway. But at this moment, Xue Piaoling's soft body took the initiative to throw herself into his arms. Her arms were like spiritual snakes and tightly wrapped around Yi Chenfeng's body. A large amount of tears flowed uncontrollably. Because Xue Piaoling used too much strength, her soft body almost melted into Yi Chenfeng's body. Yi Chenfeng could clearly feel the softness of her breasts and her heartbeat. A strange feeling arose in Yi Chenfeng's heart. Sister Piaoling, you, Chenfeng, don't talk. Let me hold you for a while. Xue Piaoling sobbed and said. It seemed that she wanted to vent all the grievances and pains she had suffered all these years in Yi Chenfeng's warm arms. Hearing Xue Piaoling's murmur and feeling her slightly trembling body, Yi Chenfeng slowly put down his arms that were suspended in the air. He hugged Xue Piaoling's soft body and let her cry loudly. At this moment, the forest was silent. Yi Chenfeng and Xue Piaoling, who were not supposed to have an intimate relationship, hugged each other tightly in the quiet forest. 2 soft hearts also collided at this moment. 30/30709 Mobile Reading Website. Book address. In order to facilitate your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You can see it when you open the bookshelf next time. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 698. Cough, have the 2 of you hugged enough? Suddenly, a cough broke the silence. Sensing Yi Chenfeng's aura, Xue Songqin and Xue Tianqi walked out from the gloomy forest. Master, Grand Elder. Hearing Xue Songqin's voice, Xue Piaoling's delicate face immediately blushed. She quickly left Yi Chenfeng's warm embrace with a trace of shyness in her eyes. Chenfeng pays his respects to the 2 seniors. Yi Chenfeng quickly regained his composure and bowed deeply towards Xue Songqin and Xue Tianqi, performing the etiquette of a disciple. Level 6 Defiant Beast King Chenfeng, you are indeed more monstrous than we had imagined. Feeling the sharp aura emitted from Yi Chenfeng's body, Xue Songqin revealed a faint smile and said, Qingfeng, where have you been all these years? What have you experienced? Shui Tianqi asked. Back then, I was chased by Mo Fengyun. I escaped to the western continent through a teleportation array. Yi Chunfeng briefly recounted his experience in the western continent. Qingfeng, you have experienced so much in the western continent in these 2 years. The western demon sect was really destroyed by you. After listening to Yi Chunfeng's narration, Shui Songqin and the other two were unable to calm down for a long time. They never thought that Yi Chunfeng would be so monstrous that he could single-handedly destroy the Western Demon Sect. Yes, the Western Demon Sect was destroyed by me. However, Mo Fengyun was too strong, I couldn't kill him. Yi Chunfeng nodded and said. Then, Qingfeng, with your current strength, can you fight against a level 3 Beast Emperor? Shui Piaoling asked with some expectation. If Yi Chunfeng could fight against Shou Liuyun, then the threat of the myriad beast mountain would be negligible. When I destroyed the Western Demon Sect, Mo Fengyun had already broken through to level 4 Beast Emperor. Yi Chunfeng revealed a faint smile and said, Really? Shui Piaoling's beautiful big eyes revealed a look of surprise as she said excitedly. Sister Piaoling, I know what you are worried about. If the myriad beast mountain dares to humiliate you, I don't mind letting them follow in the footsteps of the Western Demon Sect and kill them. Yi Chunfeng smiled and said tyrannically. Good. Hearing Yi Chunfeng's confidence, Shui Piaoling and the others' hearts were relieved. Sister Piaoling, can you bring Qingxue and Xia here? I have a gift for you, Yi Chunfeng said softly. Piaoling nodding her, Shui Piaoling. After a while, Ji Qingxue and Bai Xia, who were so excited that they couldn't speak, followed Shui Piaoling, who had regained her graceful posture. They arrived at the quiet mountain valley and saw Yi Chunfeng, who was talking to Shui Songqin. Chunfeng. Seeing Yi Chunfeng's familiar face, the two girls immediately burst into tears. They ran over and threw themselves into Yi Chunfeng's arms. Seeing the two girls hugging Yi Chunfeng tightly, Shui Piaoling sighed softly in her heart. She had just opened her heart for Yi Chunfeng, but she quietly closed it again. Come, I have a gift for everyone. Yi Chunfeng comforted the two girls for a while. He then took out 5 weapons from the universal mirror and gave them to Piaoling and the others. This is a heaven artifact. Feeling the water Dao intent from the aqua-blue heavenly sword in her hand, Ji Qingxue's beautiful face revealed a look of deep surprise. The weapon Yi Chunfeng gave to Bai Xia was also a heaven sword. Bai Xia couldn't put it down and was so excited that her face flushed red. However, Piaoling and the other two didn't show any surprise. At this time, the 3 of them were completely stunned by the weapons Yi Chunfeng gave them. Holding the quasi-Dao artifact Great Ominous Sword in their hands, they fell into a sluggish state. Qingfeng, is this sword a supreme heaven artifact? Feeling the murderous aura from the Great Ominous Sword, Piaoling asked with some excitement. If she could get a supreme heaven artifact, her attack power would increase by more than 10 times, greatly increasing her combat strength. No, this Great Ominous Sword is not a supreme heaven artifact, but a quasi-Dao artifact. I got it in a dangerous place. Yi Chunfeng shook his head and said, Quasi-Dao artifact. Piaoling and the other two were stunned, as if they were cast by a body immobilization spell. They stood there dumbfounded, revealing a look of horror. In addition to these 5 weapons, I also have some elixirs for you. Yi Chunfeng took out a large number of elixirs from the Heaven and Earth Mirror, including 5 pseudo-Dao elixirs. These priceless elixirs were obtained by Yi Chunfeng when he ransacked the West Devil Sect's treasure vault. These are pseudo-Dao elixirs, Shui Songqin said with some excitement as she smelled the refreshing medicinal fragrance from the pseudo-Dao elixirs. Yes, I got these elixirs from the West Devil Sect's treasure vault. With the help of these elixirs, everyone should be able to make a qualitative leap in a short period of time. Yi Chunfeng nodded and said, Qingfeng, these things are too precious. Piaoling Shui said gratefully. These are precious. I have something even more precious to give you. With that, Yi Chunfeng took out several jade slips of Dao skills and handed them to Piaoling Shui. These jade slips included the number 1 martial art of the East Sea Palace, the number 1 force in the Eastern Continent, the 3 absolutes of water. Dao skills, these are all Dao skills. Piaoling Shui quickly browsed through the jade slips that Yi Chunfeng had given her. Her heart trembled again. Dao skills represented the heritage of a sect and were the foundation of the sect's inheritance. Their value was immeasurable. Yes, these are all from the enemies that I have killed or obtained in the ominous grounds over the years. Among them, the 3 absolutes of water engraved on the blue jade slip is the number 1 martial art of the East Sea Palace, the number 1 force in the Eastern Continent. It has reached the level of an upper Dao skill. Yi Chunfeng nodded and said, the number 1 martial art of the East Sea Palace. Upper Dao skill, Shui Piaoling and the others sucked in a breath of cold air. They were completely disappointed by Yi Chunfeng's generosity. What kind of existence was the East Sea Palace? It was one of the top 8 Holy Land. It was many times more powerful than the Misty Mountain in its heyday. The value of the number 1 martial art of the East Sea Palace was immeasurable. It was definitely more powerful than a powerful Dao treasure. Qingfeng, how did you get the 3 absolutes of water? Shui Songqin asked after she took a deep breath and calmed down the shock in her heart. Please forgive me for keeping it a secret. However, when I was in the Eastern Continent, I offended the East Sea Palace, the Yu family, and the 9 Nether Mountain. I came back this time to ask you to leave the Northern Continent as soon as possible so that you won't be implicated by me and suffer the bloody revenge of the 3 Holy Lands. As it involved the God-Eater brain, Yi Chunfeng intentionally concealed some important information. However, he told them about the conflict between him and the 3 Holy Land. Offended the 3 Holy Lands? After listening to Yi Chunfeng, Shui Songqin and the others sucked in a breath of cold air. It could be said that everything Yi Chunfeng had just told them had exceeded their imaginations. It made them feel a sense of trepidation. However, when Piaoling Shui and the others found out that Yi Chunfeng had offended the 3 Holy Lands because of Yu Nikhang, they all felt a sense of bitterness in their hearts. Ji Qingxue, in particular, had a look of regret. If she had not been short-sighted, she might have occupied the most important position in Yi Chunfeng's heart. Qingfeng, the 3 Holy Lands of the Eastern Continent are too powerful. If they want to take revenge on the Misty Mountain, I'm afraid there won't be a place for the Misty Mountain in the entire Duhan continent. Shui Tianqi felt the seriousness of the situation and took a deep breath. Actually, I've already thought of a way out for everyone. After we deal with the Myriad Beast Mountain, we'll immediately leave the Northern Spirit region and head to the North Sea. We'll recuperate here and wait for an opportunity to rise again. I promise everyone that when we return to the Northern Continent one day, I'll definitely make the Misty Mountain one of the 8 Holy Lands and stand at the top of the 4 continents. Yi Chunfeng promised with lofty sentiments. 30/30709 Mobile Reading Site. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You'll see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 699. 223-86144. Early in the morning, the gentle light penetrated through the layers of ancient trees and sprinkled into the forest, waking up the people who were cultivating in the forest. After refining the elixirs given by Yi Chunfeng, Ji Qingxue and Bai Xia, who had cultivated to 3rd-grade mystic beast ancestor, had faint signs of a breakthrough. Shui Piaoling and the other 2 also had obvious improvements in their strength. Shou Laiyun and the rest are here. Let's go out. Yi Chunfeng's powerful soul power sensed more than 20 experts riding on powerful heavenly beasts flying into Spiritual Mountain. His deep eyes emitted a cold light as he slowly stood up and said, Shui, this is your last deadline. If you reject me again, Don't blame me for being ruthless and washing your misty mountain with blood. After gathering enough power and sealing off the entire spiritual mountain, Shou Liuyun became even more arrogant. He didn't hide the fanaticism in his heart as he roared arrogantly. Qingfeng, I don't want to hear his voice in the future. Thinking of the humiliation brought by Shou Liuyun, Xue Piaoling gritted her teeth and said with hatred. She didn't doubt that if it wasn't for Yi Qinfeng who came in time and turned the situation around, she who was forced into a dead end would never be able to escape from Shou Liuyun's evil claws. At that time, everything she had would be destroyed by him, and she wouldn't even be able to beg for death. Don't worry, Sister Piaoling. Since he dared to offend you, I will naturally make him pay with blood. Yi Qinfeng's eyes flickered with a stern look as he said with a cold, killing intent. Xue Piaoling, what do you think? Do you agree to be my concubine? Shou Liuyun looked at Xue Piaoling, who was wearing a snow-white jasmine gauze. Her skin was fairer than snow, and her eyes were as clear as water. He asked aggressively, as his attention was completely focused on the elegant and beautiful Xue Piaoling. He didn't notice Yi Qinfeng, who was in the crowd. Shou Liuyun, give up. I will not be your concubine. Advertisement. Xue Piaoling said coldly. Xue Piaoling, I'm very disappointed with your choice. Shou Liuyun revealed a trace of an arrogant smile and said, however, this matter is not up to you to choose. If you don't want the Misty Mountain to be plunged into misery and suffering and disappear from the northern continent, then obediently follow me. Otherwise, don't blame my myriad beast mountain for massacring your Misty Mountain. What arrogance! Shou Liuyun, do you really think you are the ruler of the Duhan continent? The corner of Yi Qinfeng's eyes twitched violently. His face was incomparably gloomy as he slowly walked out. Hearing Yi Qinfeng's sarcastic words, the furious Shou Liuyun was about to explode, but his pupils suddenly contracted into the most dangerous pinhole shape. His roaring words were all stuck in his throat, unable to come out. Motherf *Ker, who do you think you are? Since when is it your turn to speak? A protector of the myriad beast mountain who did not recognize Yi Qinfeng bellowed. A powerful aura radiated from his body, pressing down on Yi Qinfeng. The Legend of the Desert. Stop! Hearing his subordinates bellow, Shou Liuyun's expression changed drastically. But before he could finish his sentence, 60 sword Dao patterns gushed out from Yi Qinfeng's body. They brought along ear-piercing sonic booms and flew over like lightning. PFFF, PFFF, PFFF. Blood splashed out. This Class 5 Defiant Beast King Protector didn't have any reaction before he was turned into a sieve by Yi Qinfeng's 60 sword Dao patterns. He fell heavily into a pool of blood and lost his life. Yi Qinfeng, why are you here? Seeing Yi Qinfeng killing his subordinate in public without saying a word, Shou Liuyun was infuriated. However, he had some misgivings about Yi Qinfeng's strength. Therefore, he didn't flare up on the spot and asked coldly. Shou Liuyun, I notice that you are even more arrogant than Mo Fengyun. Today, let me experience what qualifications you have to be so arrogant. Yi Qinfeng looked at Shou Liuyun with a hazy gaze. The battle intent in his body was raised to the extreme. An unparalleled aura swept towards Shou Liuyun and the others with his body as the center. Sensing the unparalleled battle intent gushing out from Yi Qinfeng's body, many experts of the myriad beast mountain felt like mice that saw a cat. Their hearts were filled with fear and couldn't produce any trace of battle intent. Yi Qinfeng, don't go overboard. If you provoke me, I won't let you have an easy time. Shou Liuyun didn't expect Yi Qinfeng to make a move as soon as he said so. His face instantly turned gloomy as he warned in anger. Yes, I am going overboard. What can you do about it? Yi Qinfeng spoke in an overbearing manner. He instantly fused with the two-headed Blood Dragon King and ignited his dragon bloodline. He transformed into a half-human half-dragon beast soul form and amplified his soul power by 4-fold. Swish! The sound of cloth being torn echoed. Yi Qinfeng turned into an afterimage, and appeared in front of Shou Liuyun with lightning speed. Immediately after, the Emperor Sky Sword appeared in Yi Qinfeng's hand. It tore through the air and thrust towards Shou Liuyun's chest. Middle-grade Dao artifact. Shou Liuyun already knew that Yi Qinfeng possessed a mid-grade Dao artifact. He didn't take the attack of the Emperor Sky Sword head-on. His body flashed slightly and wanted to evade. Shou Liuyun's reaction speed was extremely fast, but Yi Qinfeng's attack speed was even faster. He flicked his wrist and instantly thrusted out 36 instant kill swords, sealing off all of Shou Liuyun's dodging space. Myriad Beast Tide. After the dodging space was sealed off by the Emperor Sky Sword Light, Shou Liuyun immediately transformed into his strongest beast soul form. He controlled several Dao intents and condensed malevolent beast shadows to defend against the Emperor Sky Sword Light. 7 Swords of Judgment, Annihilation. While Shou Liuyun was defending with all his might, Yi Qinfeng skimmed across the sky and slashed at Shou Liuyun with terrifying Annihilation Sword Light. It left a deep sword scar in mid-air and slashed towards Shou Liuyun with unstoppable force. Beast Bone Scepter. At the critical moment, Shou Liuyun took out the supreme-grade Heaven Artifact Beast Bone Scepter and used it to block in front of him to resist the Annihilation Sword Light. Male Teacher of Female Student. Boom. As the Annihilation Sword Light slashed down, the space around Shou Liuyun's body immediately collapsed. The terrifying annihilation power forcibly shattered the Beast Bone Scepter and bombarded Shou Liuyun's body, sending him flying. A large amount of blood spurted out from his mouth. So powerful, Qinfeng is actually so powerful. Witnessing the scene of Yi Qinfeng suppressing Shou Liuyun and injuring him, Xue Piaoling and the others widened their eyes in shock. Dual-headed purple light snake, black-winged golden eagle. After experiencing Yi Qinfeng's terrifying attack power, the heavily injured Shou Liuyun immediately summoned 2 level 8 heavenly beasts and besieged Yi Qinfeng. The 2 heavenly beasts that Shou Liuyun subdued were not ordinary heavenly beasts, but mutated heavenly beasts. When the 2 heavenly beasts worked together, they could threaten a level 4 combat beast emperor. They were also Shou Liuyun's biggest trump card. Sword Puppet. When the 2 heavenly beasts got close, Yi Qinfeng did not hesitate to summon the sword puppet that still had 1/5 of its energy left and attacked the 2 level 8 heavenly beasts. After fusing with a large amount of low-tier heavenly crystals, the sword puppet's strength was comparable to a level 6 combat beast emperor. Under its full power attack, the 2 mutated heavenly beasts could not withstand it. In just 10 breaths, the dual-headed purple light snake and black-winged golden eagle were heavily injured by the sword puppet. A large amount of blood flowed out from their huge bodies. Stop, Yi Qinfeng, stop immediately. When Shou Liuyun saw Yi Qinfeng lending the Emperor Sky Sword to the sword puppet, he panicked and shouted at Yi Qinfeng. Once the 2 heavenly beasts were killed, Shou Liuyun's strength would be greatly reduced. However, Yi Qinfeng turned a deaf ear to his shouts and ordered the sword puppet to attack with full power. Under the ferocious attacks of the sword puppet with the Emperor Sky Sword, the dual-headed purple light snake and black-winged golden eagle's bodies were quickly cut into pieces. They fell into a pool of blood and died on the spot. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 700. Yi Qinfeng, I have no enmity with you. Why did you kill my 2 tamed beasts? Looking at the corpses of the 2 mutated heavenly beasts that he had spent so much effort to contract, Shou Liuyun fell into madness. He stared at Yi Qinfeng with his blood-red eyes and roared loudly. Shou Liuyun, you indeed have no enmity with me, but you shouldn't have humiliated Misty Mountain. Yi Qinfeng sneered and said with killing intent. Chaos Divine Beast, Golden Dragon Bloodlion, come out. With a thought, Yi Chunfeng summoned the two heavenly beasts and ordered them to swallow the double-headed purple ray snake and black-winged golden eagle's demonic core and demon heart, sealing off the escape route of the 10,000 Beast Mountain expert. Level 8 Heavenly Beasts. Qingfeng has also subdued 2 Level 8 Heavenly Beasts. Feeling the terrifying aura of the Chaos Divine Beast, Golden Dragon Bloodlion, Shui Songqin and the rest had a huge wave in their hearts. They felt that they couldn't see through Yi Chunfeng anymore. His various methods were beyond their imagination. Good. So it was my 10,000 Beast Mountain's fault. I am willing to give this spiritual mountain to Misty Mountain and promise to never invade Misty Mountain. Although Shou Liyun was very angry, he was indeed apprehensive of the sword puppet. He had no choice but to lower his noble head and said in a low voice, "Shou Liyun, you are really calculating. This spiritual mountain was discovered by my Misty Mountain first. What does it have to do with your 10,000 Beast Mountain?" Yi Chunfeng sneered and said, "Yi Chunfeng, then what do you want?" Shou Liyun said sullenly. As the person with the greatest authority in the southern continent, he had never suffered such humiliation. He had never thought that he would fall into the hands of Yi Chunfeng. If he had known the relationship between Yi Chunfeng and Misty Mountain, he would never have been so bold as to force Shui Piaoling to deal with Misty Mountain. "You have offended Sister Piaoling, use your life to atone for your crime." After saying that, Yi Chunfeng's body flashed slightly and continued to attack Shou Liyun. Heavenly Treasure, Beast Metal Stone. As Yi Chunfeng approached, Shou Liyun immediately took out a golden stone that looked like a lion's head. It released a heaven-shaking beast roar and attacked Yi Chunfeng. Vermilion Bird Cauldron, collect. Yi Chunfeng immediately took out the Vermilion Bird Cauldron and opened its lid. He sucked the beast gold into the cauldron and quickly refined it. Under the refinement of the Vermilion Bird's soul, Shou Jinshi's resistance became weaker and weaker. Soon, he lost contact with Shou Liyun. You took away my beast gold stone." Sensing that he had lost contact with Shou Jinshi, Shou Liyun's eyes widened as if he had seen a ghost. The uneasiness in his heart grew even more intense. Yi Chunfeng coldly said, "Shou Liyun, if you still have any tricks up your sleeves, use them all. Otherwise, I'm afraid you won't have any more chances." "Yi Chunfeng, I don't know what it will take for you to let me go. As long as you say it, I will definitely agree." After seeing Yi Chunfeng's methods that were close to that of a heavenly being, Shou Liyun was truly afraid. He didn't want to die and could only beg for mercy in humiliation. Facing Shou Liyun's begging, Yi Chunfeng was unmoved as he coldly said, "Shou Liyun, when you were pressuring Sister Piaoling and Misty Mountain, did you ever think that you would have such a day?" After speaking, Yi Chunfeng took the Emperor Sky sword from the sword puppet and continued to attack Shou Liyun with irresistible force. Dazzling and blazing warships that were mixed with several Dao intents swept through the heavens and earth. They attacked Shou Liyun with all their might and suppressed his attacks. Under Yi Chunfeng's wave after wave of attacks, Shou Liyun's supreme-grade heaven artifact Beast Bone Scepter shattered. The terrifying warships broke through his defenses and left a deep sword wound on his chest. Large amounts of blood spurted out like a fountain. "What are you all standing there for? Attack together!" Unable to withstand Yi Chunfeng's ferocious attacks, the injured Shou Liyun immediately shouted at the panicking experts of 10,000 Beast Mountain. "Roar! Roar! Whoever dares to make a move, I will bite him to death!" Just as Shou Liyun finished his words, the Chaos Divine Beast roared and warned ferociously. Hearing the Chaos Divine Beast's warning, the experts of 10,000 Beast Mountain immediately became well-behaved. No one stepped forward to help, which made Shou Liyun so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. "Yi Chunfeng, I can tell you clearly that Mo Fengyun and the Yu family's experts are on the way. If you are willing to let me go, I can help you deal with them. Otherwise, when they arrive, it will be your time to die." Shou Liyun, whose life was hanging by a thread, shouted loudly. He wanted to use this secret in exchange for his life. As expected, Mo Fengyun wants to use Misty Mountain to deal with me. Yi Chunfeng's brows twitched as he confirmed his guess through Shou Liuyun. When Xue Piaoling and the others heard Shou Liuyun's shout, their expression changed and they felt uneasy. Yi Chunfeng, you might be strong, but no matter how strong you are, you can't be stronger than the Yu family. As long as you are willing to let me go, I can help you deal with them. Shou Liuyun said patiently. Shou Liuyun, do you think I will believe your words? The corner of Yi Chunfeng's mouth slightly curved up. With a flash, he appeared beside Shou Liuyun with the sword puppet. Subsequently, Yi Chunfeng and the sword puppet made their move together and heavily injured Shou Liuyun with a thunderous force. Shou Liuyun, who was screaming in fear, was restrained. Heaven Dao Pattern Restriction. In order to prevent Shou Liuyun from exploding his heart meridians during the soul-searching, Yi Chunfeng controlled 7 Heaven Dao patterns to break through Shou Liuyun's body defense and forcefully sealed his heart meridians. Soul-searching. Yi Chunfeng pressed one hand on Shou Liuyun's head. Under Shou Liuyun's fearful gaze, he controlled the god-devouring brain to perform a soul-searching. As expected, Mo Fengyun and the others are on their way here. Other than Mo Fengyun, the Yu family also sent 3 demon guards. Through the soul-searching, Yi Chunfeng obtained a lot of valuable information from Shou Liuyun's mind. Soul-devouring art, soul-devouring. Since Shou Liuyun was worthless, Yi Chunfeng didn't show any mercy. He circulated the soul-devouring art and directly devoured Shou Liuyun's soul beast, shattering his soul and ending his life. Sword puppet, 2 heavenly beasts, annihilate them for me. After killing Shou Liuyun, Yi Chunfeng immediately ordered the sword puppet and the 2 heavenly beasts to attack the panicking and fleeing experts of the 10,000 Beast Mountain. They killed all the experts of the 10,000 Beast Mountain who came with Shou Liuyun. Following that, Yi Chunfeng ordered them to appear outside the spiritual mountain and massacre the experts of the 10,000 Beast Mountain who had sealed off the spiritual mountain. Sister Piaoling, the situation is urgent. You all should leave this place first and take a ship to the North Sticky Star Island. Wait for me there. After I have dealt with Mo Fengyun and the Yu family's demon guards, I will look for you all. Yi Chunfeng wasn't sure if there were any other experts of the Yu family who followed them here other than Mo Fengyun and the demon guards. He planned to let Xue Piaoling and the others leave first while he stayed here to buy time. But Qing Feng, don't worry, Sister Piaoling. As long as you all leave, with my strength and trump cards, even a level 6 combat beast emperor wouldn't be able to kill me. Yi Chunfeng interrupted Xue Piaoling's words and said confidently. Piaoling, listen to Qing Feng. With our strength, not only will we be of no help, we will also become a burden. Quickly gather the disciples of the Misty Mountain. We will leave this place separately. Xue Songqin felt the seriousness of the situation and decided. All right then. Qing Feng, take care. We will wait for you in the North Sea. Xue Piaoling took a deep look at Yi Chunfeng. She suppressed the fear in her heart and immediately gathered the disciples of the Misty Mountain. Jin Qing, Dragon Bloodlion, Hundun, I will leave the mission of protecting Sister Piaoling and the others to you. No matter what, you must not let them get hurt. To be safe, Yi Chunfeng asked the 2 heavenly beasts to protect Xue Piaoling and the others as they left. Don't worry, boss. With me and Old Lion here, they will definitely be able to reach the 3 Stars Island safely. The Hundun Divine Beast promised. In order to avoid any accidents during the evacuation, Yi Chunfeng gave Xue Piaoling the navigation of the 3 Stars Island and asked them to leave separately. Qing Feng, you must take care of yourself. We will wait for you at the 3 Stars Island. Ji Qingxue looked at Yi Chunfeng reluctantly and said tenderly. Don't worry. No one in the Duhan continent can kill me. Don't worry. Yi Chunfeng said arrogantly. Qing Feng, take care of yourself. We will wait for you. These few simple words made Yi Chunfeng feel Xue Piaoling's sincerity. After saying that, The group of people from the Misty Mountain did not delay any longer. They left the spiritual mountain separately and secretly went to the North Paced Star Island through various channels. Remember the website. Sanwa Chinese Network. Chapter 701. Mo Fengyun, it's time to fight to the death with you. After Shui Piaoling and the others left, Yi Chenfeng took away the belongings of Shou Liuyun and the others. He sat cross-legged in the spiritual mountain and recuperated while releasing a powerful soul spirit to cover the area around the spiritual mountain. He waited for Mo Fengyun and the 3 Yu family demon guards to arrive. After about 8 hours, Shou Liuyun's communication pearl suddenly lit up. Mo Fengyun's voice sounded from the communication pearl. Yi Chenfeng imitated Shou Liuyun's voice and lured Mo Fengyun and the others to the spiritual mountain. He immediately took out a large number of array bases and scattered them around the spiritual mountain. He set up a trap array and was prepared to trap Mo Fengyun and the others in the spiritual mountain. Not long after Yi Chenfeng set up the trap array, 4 ear-piercing sounds broke through the air. Mo Fengyun appeared in the sky above the spiritual mountain with 4 expressionless Yu family demon guards in black armor. What a strong smell of blood! Sensing the smell of blood in the spiritual mountain, Mo Fengyun frowned and became alert. He took out his communication pearl and contacted Shou Liuyun. However, Yi Chenfeng had already crushed Shou Liuyun's communication pearl. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't reach Shou Liuyun. Did something happen to Shou Liuyun? Mo Fengyun frowned and hesitated. Eventually, he brought the 3 Yu family demon guards and flew into the spiritual mountain. The spiritual mountain was filled with towering trees that covered the sky and was filled with dense spiritual energy. Mo Fengyun, you are finally here. I have been waiting for you for a long time. When Mo Fengyun flew into Spirit Mountain with the 3 great Yu clan demon guards, a clanging voice exploded in his ears like thunder. This voice. Yi Chenfeng. Mo Fengyun's expression froze when he heard the thunderous voice. Through the source of the voice, he unexpectedly discovered that Yi Chenfeng was standing under an ancient tree that was dozens of meters tall, looking at him with a smile that was not a smile. Yi Chenfeng, you are actually here. It seems that Shou Liuyun has already been killed by you. Mo Fengyun stood in the air and looked at Yi Chenfeng vigilantly as he said coldly. It could be said that Yi Chenfeng's appearance was beyond his expectations. When he saw the sword puppet, his heart felt uneasy. Fengyun, Yi Chenfeng's communication pearl. The Yu family to kill Shou Liuyun's to kill him. Yi Chenfeng's lips slightly curled up's killing intent, to kill the Yu, the death to kill. You to kill me, the Fengyun, Yi Fengyun Yi, the to kill the death, to kills you to kill me. You. To kill is for me to kill. Mo Fengyun's eyes flickered with cold light as his mind was spinning rapidly. He was hesitating if he should take the risk and attack Yi Chenfeng. Go, kill him for me. After hesitating for a while, Mo Fengyun ordered the 3 demon guards of the Yu family to surround and kill Yi Chenfeng. Swish, swish, swish. There were 3 ear-piercing, air-rending sounds as the 3 Yu family demon guards in black armor approached Yi Chenfeng. They wielded extremely sharp demon weapons and attacked Yi Chenfeng. The moment the 3 demon guards attacked, Yi Chenfeng activated the trap array hidden in the forest. It enveloped a region of a few miles and trapped Mo Fengyun, who had turned pale with fright. Bam! 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 The demon weapons of the 3 demon guards struck the sword puppet's body, creating a large amount of sparks. After using its body to block the 3 Yu family demon guards, the sword puppet immediately counterattacked with the Emperor's Sky Sword. An extremely sharp sword aura cleaved towards the 3 demon guards from a short distance away. The 3 demon guards were sent flying by the sword aura. When the sword puppet used its powerful strength to suppress the 3 Yu family demon guards, Yi Chenfeng immediately burned his Godfiend bloodline and transformed into the most terrifying Godfiend body. With a suffocating pressure, he flew towards Mo Fengyun, who was preparing to tear open the trap array and leave. Mo Fengyun, aren't you here to kill me? Why are you so scared that you want to run after seeing me? Yi Chunfeng looked at Mo Fengyun, who had a grave expression, and sneered coldly. You are courting death. Mo Fengyun couldn't break open the trap array in a short period of time. He took out the Sky Demon Dao weapon and cleaved towards Yi Chunfeng with overwhelming demonic aura. Vermilion Bird Cauldron. As the Sky Demon Dao weapon tore through space and cleaved towards Mo Fengyun, Yi Chunfeng decisively summoned the Vermilion Bird Cauldron. Like a small burning meteor, it slammed into the Sky Demon Dao weapon. Bang! A deafening collision sound rang out. The terrifying impact formed a terrifying shockwave that suddenly exploded. The terrifying impact caused Mo Fengyun's arm to feel numb. Without any hesitation, he transformed into his beast soul form and increased his strength further, forcefully repelling the Vermilion Bird Cauldron. After burning the power of his bloodline, Mo Fengyun's aura reached its peak. He was like a demonic god as he continued to attack Yi Chunfeng with the Sky Demon Dao weapon. The terrifying demonic saber slashed through the void with a horrifying might of mountains and rivers, heading straight for Yi Chunfeng. 7 Swords of Judgment. Emperor Sky Sword Art. Facing the continuous attacks of Mo Fengyun, Yi Chunfeng didn't dodge. Instead, he held the great ominous sword tightly and counterattacked fiercely. The 7 Swords of Judgment and Emperor Sky Sword Radiance intertwined to resist Mo Fengyun's attacks. As the attacks of the two were too ferocious, they were like 2 shocking waves crashing against each other. A destructive storm was formed in midair, causing the trap array that enveloped the void to tremble violently. 7 Swords of Judgment. Relying on his physical body that was comparable to a quasi-Dao treasure to resist the impact of the destructive storm, Yi Chunfeng's body flashed and merged with the great ominous sword. The great Dao intent in his body exploded with a force of nearly 40 million kilograms. With the power to engulf the heavens and earth, it tore apart the destructive storm and slashed towards Mo Fengyun. Faced with such a powerful sword that had the power to rule the world, Mo Fengyun felt as though the world was collapsing. He didn't hesitate to use his powerful Dao technique to counter the attack. Boom! A thunderous explosion reverberated throughout the 9 heavens. The 2 Dao intents collided like a raging tide and formed an endless destructive force that instantly engulfed Yi Chunfeng and Mo Fengyun. The ancient trees and boulders in the trap array were instantly crushed and razed to the ground. The ground that was shaking violently cracked with crisscrossing fissures. PFFF. Facing Mo Fengyun's terrifying Dao intent head-on, Yi Chunfeng's body trembled and a large amount of blood spurted out from his mouth. He took a deep breath and quickly circulated the soul-devouring art to suppress the injuries on his body. He continued to charge into the destructive storm and continued to attack Mo Fengyun with the great ominous sword in his hand. He fought fiercely with Mo Fengyun in the destructive storm. Saber radiance and sword shadows clashed fiercely, and ear-piercing explosions were incessant. The terrifying attacks constantly struck the chaotic space, riddling it with holes. Just as the battle between Yi Chunfeng and Mo Fengyun reached its climax, the sword puppet relied on its absolute strength and terrifying attack power to kill 3 Yu family demon guards. Oh no! Mo Fengyun's heart skipped a beat when he saw the 3 Yu family demon guards being killed by the sword puppet. He decisively gave up on killing Yi Chunfeng and merged with the Sky Demon Dao soldier to attack the broken trap array. He wanted to forcefully break out of the array and leave. Mo Fengyun, leave your life to me obediently. While Mo Fengyun was attacking the trap array with all his strength, Yi Chunfeng ignored his injuries and attacked him with the sword puppet. He wanted to borrow the power of the sword puppet to kill this formidable enemy. 30/30709 Mobile Reading Website. Book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 702. Demonic Heart Ignite. Trapped in a desperate situation, Mo Fengyun rapidly ignited the power of his demonic heart and increased his strength to the greatest extent. With one slash, he opened up a gap in the trapping array that was filled with cracks. 7777772E76474774772E636F6D inch crescent sword arc. Just as Mo Fengyun was about to fly out of the trapping array, the sword puppet immediately ignited a powerful energy and slashed out a crescent sword arc. It was like a demonic crescent moon that slashed towards Mo Fengyun. The terrifying sword prowess forced Mo Fengyun back, and did not give him a chance to break out. Wrath of Divine Punishment. As Mo Fengyun was forced back by the sword puppet, the three heaven spirits gushed out Yi Chunfeng's body and compressed it to the extreme. They turned into a tricolored energy bead and blasted towards Mo Fengyun. Break. As the tricolored energy bead neared, Mo Fengyun immediately slashed out with the Sky Demon Dao Soldier. Boundless energy was released along with the furious roar of the Thunder God. It engulfed Mo Fengyun like a volcanic eruption. Seizing this opportunity, the sword puppet slashed out 18 times consecutively, leaving deep sword scars in the void. It broke into the destructive storm and severely injured Mo Fengyun's body. Heartless Heaven Dao. Extreme Dao of Xian Ming. The sword puppet attacked Mo Fengyun ferociously. At this moment, Yi Chunfeng did not care about his injuries and continuously used powerful Dao techniques to attack Mo Fengyun. He was determined to kill Mo Fengyun and prevent any future troubles. Die. Just as Mo Fengyun's attacks were completely suppressed and he was in danger, the sword puppet suddenly ignited a huge amount of energy and poured it into the Ascendant Sky Sword. It stimulated the attacking power of the Ascendant Sky Sword and slashed towards Mo Fengyun, who was unable to dodge. As the sword slashed out, it swept across the heavens and earth. The terrifying Ascendant Sky Sword radiance brought along unparalleled destructive power and tore apart the firmament. As far as the eye could see, the sword puppet's sword was like a spatial crack that tore through the void. It was so powerful that it wanted to split Mo Fengyun's body in half.
268234573195823558233559711019191946771010104117971101034.
Almost everyone who wants to see it has it. It's much more stable than the average website, and it updates faster. It's all text without advertisements. Destruction Crystal. With his life hanging by a thread, Mo Fengyun, who smelled the threat of death, decisively took out a half-meter-tall black crystal that contained infinite power and blocked in front of him, forcefully blocking the fatal strike of the sword puppet. Boom! The destruction demonic crystal couldn't withstand this fatal blow and shattered. A thunderous sound spread out, exploding in the void, echoing through the 9 heavens. The terrifying sound made people's minds tremble, and they felt despair and fear. For a moment, the entire space was distorted by the explosion of the destruction mana crystal, and a large number of spatial cracks were wantonly dancing like snakes, as if the end of the world had arrived. Oh no! Yi Chunfeng transformed into his celestial demon body. Although his strength was comparable to a quasi-Dao artifact, he couldn't withstand the energy released by the destruction mana crystal. He decisively hid behind the sword puppet, using its indestructible body to neutralize the attack. Although Mo Fengyun had dodged in advance, he was still affected. The celestial armor he wore was completely shattered, and a large amount of blood spurted out uncontrollably from his mangled body. Sword puppet, kill him for me! After forcefully colliding with the destruction mana crystal, the sword puppet didn't have much energy left. However, in order to kill Mo Fengyun, Yi Chunfeng couldn't care less. He ordered the sword puppet to kill him with all its might. However, at this moment, Yi Chunfeng, who was also heavily injured, suddenly felt danger approaching. Without thinking, he decisively ignited the golden rock bloodline, raised his speed to the peak, and dodged to the side. Boom! Boom! The moment Yi Chunfeng dodged, two terrifying Dao wills bombarded the space where he was just a moment ago. The terrifying power directly caused the area to collapse. Yi Chunfeng, your reaction is not slow. Under such circumstances, you actually dodged our attack. At this moment, a deep voice resounded in the chaotic spiritual mountain. The two mainstays of the Yu family, Yu Gu, who was a level 5 beast emperor, and the silver-haired old woman stepped on the void and appeared at the same time. I didn't expect that in order to kill me, the Yu family would actually send the two of you. Should I feel honored? Yi Chunfeng said solemnly. With only 2,000 years left in his lifespan, he could no longer use the life spirit technique. If he didn't use the life spirit technique, he wouldn't be able to fight against the two supreme elders of the Yu family. Helpless, Yi Chunfeng could only give up on killing Mo Fengyun. He summoned the sword puppet back to prevent the two supreme elders from launching a thunderous attack to kill him. Yi Chunfeng, you are the most talented young man I have seen in all these years. Even I can't bear to kill you. Yushan looked deeply at Yi Chunfeng and said slowly, how about this? If you surrender obediently and allow me to imprint a soul imprint in your mind, I will spare your life. What if I don't agree? Yi Chunfeng had already expected that the Yu family might be hiding a hidden hand. Hence, he had already thought of a way to retreat. Hence, he said fearlessly, if you don't agree, then I will send you to hell. Thinking about the humiliation that Yi Chunfeng had brought to her a few days ago, the silver-haired old woman gritted her teeth and said ruthlessly, whoosh. Just as the silver-haired old woman finished speaking, Yi Chunfeng's golden rock wings flapped rapidly and flew out of the spiritual mountain at an extremely fast speed. Where do you think you are going? Yushan and the other supreme elders were already prepared for Yi Chunfeng to escape. The moment he tried to escape, the two of them attacked at the same time. Like two streaks of lightning, they intercepted Yi Chunfeng. At the same time, Mo Fengyun, who was covered in injuries and sword wounds, flew over to help Yushan and the other supreme elders obstruct Yi Chunfeng and kill him with all his might. Sword puppet, open a path for me. After being intercepted by Yushan and the other supreme elders, Yi Chunfeng immediately ordered the sword puppet, which had little energy left, to attack with all its might. 1. The sword puppet slashed out with all its might. The terrifying Empyrean sword radiance was like a falling star. It swept across the sky and forcefully tore apart the obstruction of Yushan and the other supreme elders, forcing them to retreat. Following which, Yi Chunfeng's body flashed slightly and dashed out. He flew out of the spiritual mountain at an extremely fast speed towards the southern continent. Sky Demon, Dance of the Eight Directions. Seeing that Yi Chunfeng had broken out of the encirclement, Mo Fengyun didn't care about his injuries and forcefully fused with the demon heart. He executed the strongest demonic art that he knew and slashed out 8 times consecutively. They cut across the void and sealed off Yi Chunfeng's escape route. Break. At this moment, the sword puppet flew over. Relying on its absolute strength and attack, it shattered a sky demon sword radiance. Demonic statue. Seeing that Yi Chunfeng had broken out of the encirclement, Yu Gu turned into an afterimage and blocked in front of Yi Chunfeng. He held onto the Yu family's most prized treasure, the demonic statue, and attacked Yi Chunfeng. Vermilion Bird Cauldron. The demonic aura of the demonic statue suppressed over. Yi Chunfeng immediately took out the vermilion bird cauldron and spat a few mouthfuls of essence blood into it. He raised the vermilion bird cauldron's attack to the greatest extent and collided with it. However, with Yi Chunfeng's current strength, even with the help of the vermilion bird's soul, he couldn't unleash the strongest attack of the vermilion bird cauldron. He couldn't withstand the demonic statue's attack. Boom! The two great Taoist treasures collided. The vermilion bird cauldron was directly sent flying by the demonic statue. Yi Chunfeng's body trembled from the impact of the collision of the two great Taoist treasures. A large amount of blood spurted out of his mouth. Yi Chunfeng, it's over. The moment Yi Chunfeng was injured and the sword puppet blocked the demonic statue, the silver-haired old woman suddenly closed in on Yi Chunfeng with the dragon-head walking stick in her hand and launched a fatal blow at him. We don't know who will die yet. Chaotic energy. At the critical moment, Yi Chunfeng unleashed all the remaining 20 streaks of chaotic energy in the chaotic divine wood. They bombarded the silver-haired old woman, whose expression changed drastically. The terrifying chaotic energy directly penetrated her body's defenses and sent her flying. Seizing this opportunity, Yi Chunfeng burned the golden rock bloodline to the greatest extent and charged out with the sword puppet. They fled to the southern continent at an extremely fast speed. 30/30709 Mobile Reading Home. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Collect button below to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 703. Where do you think you are going? Yu Gu didn't expect that under such circumstances, Yi Chunfeng still had the means to injure the silver-haired old woman and break out of the encirclement. He decisively increased his speed to the peak and pursued Yi Chunfeng with all his might. And yen, dollar, cotton, flour, candy, shall say. As for the silver-haired old woman, Mo Fengyun didn't care about his injuries and pursued closely. If he let Yi Chunfeng escape this time, it would be extremely difficult to kill him in the future. Wrath of divine punishment. Yu Gu and the other two pursued rapidly, while Yi Chunfeng constantly controlled the three heaven spirits to bombard them. The terrifying wrath of divine punishment was constantly distorting the spatial zone and slowing down their speed, not giving them a chance to catch up to him. Yi Chunfeng, I advise you to stop your meaningless struggle. With your strength, you won't be able to escape. Yu Gu held onto the demon statue and resisted the attacks of the wrath of divine punishment while roaring loudly, breaking down Yi Chunfeng's psychological defense. You are still far from being able to kill me. Yi Chunfeng wasn't moved and continued to speed up. Soon, he crossed the North Continent and flew into the South Continent. Yi Chunfeng escaped to the South Continent because when he was searching for Shou Lieyun's soul spirit, he found out that there was a 10,000-mile teleportation array hidden in the MT Myriad Beast. He could completely shake off the pursuit of Yu Gu and the other two. Ghost God Claw. Relying on his absolute strength, Yu Gu immediately made his move when he was close enough to attack. Multiple Dao intents gushed out from his body and merged together, forming a jade-green ghost god claw that could rip the void apart. It whizzed and grabbed at Yi Chunfeng. Buzz, buzz. When Yu Gu's ghost god claw reached, the sword puppet immediately made his move. The sharp Emperor Sky sword slashed the ghost god claw and didn't give it a chance to attack Yi Chunfeng. Damn it, who exactly created this clone? Why is it so sick? Facing the indestructible sword puppet with terrifying attack power, even Yu Gu felt a headache coming on. If not for the sword puppet's protection, they would have captured Yi Chunfeng long ago. The four of them, one fleeing while the other three pursued, traversed an extremely vast area of the southern continent and slowly approached the 10,000 Beast Mountain located in the depths of the Demon Beast Mountain range. We've finally arrived at 10,000 Beast Mountain. From afar, Yi Chunfeng saw the 10,000 Beast Mountain, which was tens of thousands of meters tall, its peak completely submerged in the sea of clouds. It was like an axe. He immediately released a powerful roar that reverberated through the 9 heavens, startling the entire 10,000 Beast Mountain. Hearing the terrifying sound coming from the horizon, the experts guarding the myriad beast mountains immediately activated the mountain protection array, enveloping the entire myriad beast mountains within the array that had been passed down for tens of thousands of years to fend off the enemy. With the mountain protection array activated, Yi Chenfeng didn't slow down and rushed over at an extremely fast speed. The reason why Yi Chenfeng ordered the 10,000 beast mountains to be on guard and activate the mountain protection array in advance was because when he searched Shou Liuyun's soul, he found out about the 10,000 beast mountains mountain protection array and the location of the life gate. He wanted to borrow the mountain protection array to obstruct the pursuit of Yushan, Mo Fengyun, and the others, creating an opportunity for him to teleport away. Whoosh! An ear-piercing sound echoed. With the God-Eater brain's rapid deduction, Yi Chenfeng easily locked onto the location of the life gate of the 10,000 Beast Mountains mountain protection array. He burst forth with nearly 20 million gene of force and rushed over without any reduction in speed. Relying on his absolute strength, he directly smashed open the life gate of the mountain protection array and entered the chaotic 10,000 Beast Mountains. Who are you? Why are you trespassing into my 10,000 Beast Mountains? Looking at Yi Chenfeng, who had barged into the 10,000 Beast Mountains, a 10,000 Beast Mountain protector with white hair, an abnormally tall and sturdy body, and thick black hair all over his body, mustered up his courage and shouted loudly. Shou Liuyun has already been killed by me. If you don't want to die, scram. Otherwise, I don't mind starting a massacre. Yi Chenfeng's sharp gaze swept over him and warned in an overbearing manner. What? Sect Master is dead? Yi Chenfeng's words were like a sudden clap of thunder that set off a huge wave in the 10,000 Beast Mountains. Many people felt panic, and there were also many people who felt doubt. Stop. All of you, stop. Just when several bold experts of the 10,000 Beast Mountains wanted to control their heavenly beasts to attack Yi Chenfeng and defend against the enemy, the number one genius of the 10,000 Beast Mountains, Shou Yuing, who had witnessed Yi Chenfeng's battle with Mo Fengyun and the two great elders of the Yu family, appeared and shouted loudly. At this moment, Yu Gu, the white-haired old woman, and Mo Fengyun had caught up. They used all of their strength to attack the 10,000 Beast Mountains mountain protecting grand array. The terrifying attacks directly distorted the array wall, and a large number of cracks quickly spread out in all directions, scaring everyone in the 10,000 Beast Mountains. Sensing that the 10,000 Beast Mountains mountain protecting grand array wouldn't be able to hold on for long, Yi Chenfeng didn't delay any longer. He flapped his golden rock wings violently and flew towards the peak of the 10,000 Beast Mountains at top speed. Boom! When Yi Chenfeng flew deep into the clouds and reached the peak of the 10,000 Beast Mountains that was covered in thick white snow, the 10,000 Beast Mountains mountain protecting grand array couldn't withstand the indiscriminate attacks of Yushan and the other two and shattered. Tell me, where did that brat who flew in just now go? The fiendish Yushan grabbed a protector of the 10,000 Beast Mountains and questioned him, without allowing any resistance. He is at the peak of the mountain. Sensing the fatal aura emitted from Yushan's body, this protector of the 10,000 Beast Mountains was terrified. He pointed at the peak of the 10,000 Beast Mountains that was submerged in the clouds and spoke with a trembling voice. Gotcha! After knowing Yi Chenfeng's whereabouts, Yushan exerted some force with his fingers and cruelly snapped the protector's neck. Then, he flew towards the peak of the mountain with the white-haired old woman and Mo Fengyun. At this moment, Yi Chenfeng had already severely injured the mountain peak's protector. He broke through the mountain peak's restriction and arrived at the hidden teleportation array in the Snow Palace Hall. Yi Chenfeng found 10 teleportation stones from Shou Liuyun's belongings and inserted them into the 10 gaps of the teleportation array. He attempted to activate the teleportation array and leave the 10,000 Beast Mountains. Not good teleportation energy. There is a teleportation array hidden here. This Yi Chenfeng is trying to teleport away. When Yi Chunfeng activated the teleportation array with all his strength, Yu Shan and the other two appeared at the peak of the mountain. Their complexion changed greatly when they felt the teleportation energy coming from the Snow Palace Hall. Jin let's quickly join hands and destroy that Snow Palace Hall. We must not let him escape. Yushan quickly summoned the Dao Treasure Golem and poured a large amount of soul force into the golem together with the silver-haired old woman. They stimulated the golem's power to the greatest extent and bombarded the Snow Palace Hall with the pressure of Mount Tai. They wanted to destroy the Snow Palace Hall along with the teleportation array. Sword Puppet, ignite all your energy. At the critical moment, Yi Chunfeng ignited all the energy in the sword puppet's body and penetrated the majestic roof of the palace hall. He lifted both his hands and forcibly withstood the golem that was filled with destructive energy and overflowing demonic aura. Activate the teleportation array. Under the sword puppet's all-out defense, Yi Chunfeng successfully activated the teleportation array. A teleportation light shot out and soared into the boundless clouds. Sword Puppet, come back. The instant Yi Chunfeng was engulfed by the teleportation array, he summoned the sword puppet that was under tremendous pressure and disappeared into the teleportation array with him. And without the sword puppet's defense, the terrifying golem came crashing down with great force, crushing the Snow Palace Hall and destroying the teleportation array. Yi Chunfeng, I will kill you no matter where you go. Sensing that the teleportation array was completely destroyed by the golem's power, Yu Shan was so angry that he almost vomited blood. On the peak of the snow-covered mountain, he roared toward the sky, venting the anger and unwillingness in his heart. 30/30709 Mobile Reading Site. Book Address. To facilitate your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 704. Who? I've finally escaped. After teleporting for a distance of 5,000 kilometers, Yi Chunfeng safely appeared in the depths of a mountain range in the southern continent that had a complicated terrain, dense fog, and towering ancient trees all year round. End. Advertisement. Even though Yi Chunfeng was heavily injured from the battle with Yu Shan and Mo Fengyun, and his consumption was obvious, but he was afraid that Yu Shan and the others still had other methods to pursue him. So he didn't waste any time and controlled the illusory Dao insight to transform his appearance before swiftly flying away from this mountain range that extended for countless kilometers, and he flew towards the northern continent with extreme speed. After around 11 days of time, Yi Chunfeng smoothly left the southern continent and traversed the extremely vast territory of the western continent to return to the northern continent, and then he swiftly flew towards the northern coast with the intention of taking the ship to Three-Star Island. The sound of an intense battle. Yi Chunfeng flew without rest for around 3 days and arrived in the sky above a boundless grassland. When he slowly approached the northern coast, his formidable soul suddenly heard the sound of intense battle and the sharp cries of women not far ahead. Yi Chunfeng wasn't a person that liked to meddle in other people's business, and when he wanted to avoid the area of battle ahead, he unexpectedly heard a rough man mention the Northern Sea. They're preparing to go to the Northern Sea as well. Yi Chunfeng's brows raised as he revealed a trace of surprise, and he hesitated for a moment before deciding to fly over and take a look. The reason he changed his mind was because he was worried that Mo Fengyun would guess his whereabouts and deploy troops to seal off the Northern Sea in advance. If that was the case, then it was very likely that he would be suspected if he bought a ship to go out to sea. Moreover, if he mixed in with the group that went out to sea, then even if Mo Fengyun had 3 heads and 6 arms, it would be impossible for him to notice his whereabouts. Masters, please be magnanimous and let us go. So long as you're willing to let us go, we're willing to offer over 1 million soul crystals to you. A man with a stalwart figure and an extremely rugged appearance that wore extraordinarily gorgeous clothes wiped the sweat on his forehead as he ceaselessly begged for mercy. To read the latest chapter, please go to $cotton___flower__ candy ___small__say____. A few corpses that wore the clothes of guards were scattered on the grassland, and the fresh blood that flowed from their bodies dyed the lush green grassland red. Behind his tall and sturdy body, there were 6 beautiful women who were extremely charming to the bone. When the 6 pretty ladies sensed the scorching gazes of the 5 men, who wore shiny armor, held sharp ice blades, and had black skull-shaped silk embroidered on their sleeves, they were so scared that their faces turned pale, and they shivered uncontrollably. If you want the 5 of us to let you go, that's fine. But in addition to the 1,000,000 soul crystals, I also want the 6 of them. A bald man with a will-o'-the-wisp pattern embroidered on his face lecherously looked at the voluptuous bodies of the 6 women and said with evil intentions, "No, husband, please don't abandon us." The 6 pretty girls grabbed the rugged man's arm and begged bitterly. They didn't dare to imagine that if they fell into the hands of these 5 fiendish men, they would definitely be ruined by them. They would be in so much pain that they would wish they were dead, and they might even lose their lives. "Sirs, I'm willing to add 3,000,000 mid-grade soul crystals. I beg you to let us go." The boorish man gritted his teeth and increased the price. "It seems that you are very rich." The bald man looked at him and said, "I suddenly changed my mind. We brothers must take the 6 of them away. As for you, go to hell obediently. Don't mess around. I have been invited by the Lord of the immortal island of the North Sea to go out to sea. If anything happens to us, the Lord of the immortal island will never let you go." Feeling the strong murderous aura of the 5 men, the boorish man was terrified. He had no choice but to use his trump card in an attempt to intimidate the 5 of them. "Humph! The immortal island. Today, even the heavenly king can't save you." The bald man snorted coldly and said unmoved, "Big brother, don't talk nonsense with him. I can't wait to taste the 6 of them." A skinny man with a big head said impatiently as he looked at the 6 beautiful women who had turned pale with fright, You 6, run quickly. I will hold them off." The boorish man suddenly shouted and took out a mid-grade heavenly weapon from his cosmos ring. He suddenly slashed at the bald man. "You are courting death." The bald man showed a cruel smile. He held a weapon full of sharp barbs and went up to meet the boorish man. He wanted to quickly kill him and take everything he had and the 6 pretty ladies. Rumble! At this moment, a deafening muffled thunder suddenly sounded in the thick clouds. A heavenly thunder broke through the clouds with terrible destructive power and bombarded the bald man's head. Boom! The bald man couldn't dodge in time and was hit by the heavenly thunder that suddenly fell. He screamed in pain and died. He is dead. He was killed by the heavenly thunder. Not only the desperate boorish man and the others were stunned by the scene in front of them, but the 4 ferocious men were also stunned by the sudden scene. Their minds went blank. Boom! Boom! A thunderbolt struck down, followed by a series of earth-shaking thunderous booms from the thick clouds. A large number of thunderbolts broke through the clouds and struck towards the 4 robbers, who were trying to dodge in panic, like dancing thunder flood dragons. Under the dense heavenly thunder, the 4 robbers couldn't dodge. They were hit by the heavenly thunder with amazing destructive power and fell painfully in a pool of blood. They died. Husband, did they do too many heartless things? Is the old master punishing them? Looking at the charred bodies of the 5 robbers, a petite but unusually plump girl with fair skin tightly grabbed the boorish man's arm and said with a pale face, "No, it should be that an expert passed by and saved us." Although the boorish man wasn't strong and was only a 3rd-level Xian beast grandmaster, he was very knowledgeable. He guessed that someone must have killed the 5 robbers and saved the lives of the 7 of them. Senior, thank you for saving us. I wonder if you can show yourself and let Lu Mang thank you for saving our lives. The boorish man bowed deeply 3 times to the clouds in the sky and said gratefully, Lu Mang? Rogue? Yi Chunfeng, who was hiding in the clouds, smiled faintly when he heard the boorish man's name. His body flashed slightly, broke through the thick clouds, and landed in front of Lu Mang. So young. Looking at the young and handsome face that Yi Chunfeng created with the illusion Dao intent, Lu Mang was surprised. He didn't think that the person who helped them would be so young. However, to be able to hide in the clouds, it was enough to show that Yi Chunfeng's strength had reached the reverse Beast King realm and his background wasn't simple. Lu Mang didn't dare to slight Yi Chunfeng. He immediately led the 6 beautiful family members to bow and thank Yi Chunfeng for saving their lives. It's nothing. Yi Chunfeng smiled faintly and said, Lu Mang, I heard you say that you're going out to sea? Yes, Senior, are you going out to sea too? Lu Mang's eyes lit up with surprise and joy. In the battle just now, all the guards he hired were dead. He was worried about not having any guards. If he could go with Yi Chunfeng, with Yi Chunfeng's ability to summon heavenly thunder, it would be enough to deal with the troubles on the North Sea. Yi Chunfeng nodded and said, Yes, I have nothing to do, and I just happen to want to go out to sea to gain experience. If you have nothing to do, Senior, you can come with us to the Immortal Island. A grand overseas auction will be held there soon. Perhaps you can get some unexpected gains through the auction. Lu Mang invited sincerely. The Immortal Island Overseas Auction. Yi Chunfeng's heart skipped a beat. He said calmly, Okay, I'll go with you to the Immortal Island to see what treasures will appear in the overseas auction. 30/30709 Mobile Reading Site. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You can see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 705. Early in the morning, a red sun slowly rose above the rippling sea. Large amounts of golden light flickered on the surface of the sea. It was a spectacular sight. 77777726676474774772E636F6D. I wonder if there will be any life spiritual items appearing in the Immortal Island auction. Yi Chunfeng, who had successfully set sail, stood on the deck of the ship. He faced the ice-cold sea breeze and looked at the boundless sea in the distance as he muttered to himself. Although he had successfully stopped the marriage alliance between the Yu clan and the Eastern Sea Palace and fought his way out of the encirclement, he had also used up 5,000 years of his lifespan. If he couldn't recover his lifespan as soon as possible, it might affect his breakthrough to the Beast Emperor realm. Young Master Feng, you woke up so early. Seeing Yi Chunfeng standing at the bow of the ship with a beautiful girl with a slightly red face in his arms, Lu Mang walked over with sleepy eyes and greeted him respectfully. Because Yi Chunfeng did not want to have too much to do with Lu Mang, he told him that his name was Feng Chen and that he was a disciple of the Northern Continent's hermit family. Lu Mang, how far are we from the Immortal Island? Yi Chunfeng nodded and asked faintly. The Immortal Island is quite far from the Northern Spirit region. I estimate that we will need around 8 days to reach there. Lu Mang took out a navigation map and said after looking at it, Call me when we reach the Immortal Island. I will go and cultivate. Yi Chunfeng nodded and turned to return to the cabin to cultivate. Wait for young Master Feng. When Yi Chunfeng turned to leave, Lu Mang immediately called out to him. What, is there something? Yi Chunfeng frowned slightly and asked Lu Mang's rough face. This time, the 7 of us were able to escape from the evil people's evil hands and set sail smoothly. It was all thanks to young Master Feng's help. In order to thank young Master Feng for saving our lives, I will give this secret technique passed down in my family to young Master. Lu Mang took out a white jade box from his yin and yang ring and gave it to Yi Chunfeng. Secret technique. Yi Chunfeng knew the value of the secret technique and raised his eyebrows slightly. All right, then I won't hold back. Yi Chunfeng took the white jade brocade box from Lu Mang and turned to leave. He returned to the luxuriously decorated cabin that was filled with the faint scent of orchid.
652882682533457319467107211711072110721179849711001.
Could this be a secret technique? Yi Chunfeng set up dozens of formation patterns and restricted the cabin. He opened the white jade brocade box and discovered that there was an inch-long jade slip in the brocade box. He released his soul force into the jade slip and quickly browsed through it. Then Yi Chunfeng showed a strange expression. 36 forms of acacia. After learning that the secret technique that Lu Mang gave him was actually a dual cultivation secret technique, Yi Chunfeng was somewhat speechless. However, he carefully browsed through the 36 forms of acacia and found that these 30 strange postures were indeed somewhat mysterious and were greatly beneficial to cultivation. He decided to keep it and stored it in the universe mirror. He planned to study it with Yu Nikhang when he married her in the future. I wonder what treasures are in Shou Liuyun's universe ring. Then, Yi Chunfeng took out the purple gold universe ring that he obtained from killing Shou Liuyun. He released his soul force and penetrated it, breaking the restriction and taking out Shou Liuyun's belongings one by one. Over 10 billion mid-soul crystals, over 500 million high-soul crystals, over 80,000 extreme soul crystals, and 3 low heaven crystals. Yi Chunfeng first counted Shou Liuyun's wealth and revealed a satisfied smile. With 3 low heaven crystals and 80,000 extreme soul crystals, the sword puppet could attack for a long time. Mid-Dao technique, Thousand Beast Tide, secret technique of beast taming. Yi Chunfeng then checked the inheritance left behind by Shou Liuyun. He was slightly interested in the art of beast taming and decided to look for an opportunity to study it. 12 pseudo-Dao cores, 52 extreme heaven-class soul cores, 108 extreme heaven-class spiritual herbs. This cosmos ring is filled with heavenly beast cores and heavenly beast blood essences. At the end of the inspection, Yi Chunfeng found another ring in Shou Liuyun's universe ring. He sent his soul force into it and found that it was filled with heavenly beast cores and blood essence. This Shou Liuyun is indeed worthy of being the sect master of the myriad beast mountain. His belongings are really plentiful. I wonder if Han Dun and Jin Qing Dragon Bloodlion would be so excited after seeing so many heavenly beast cores. Yi Chunfeng revealed a faint smile and kept most of Shou Liuyun's belongings into the universe mirror. He then sent the space devourer insect and spiritual fish out from the universe mirror. Spiritual fish. Here are 57 heaven-class spiritual herbs, 2 pseudo-Dao cores, and 20 top-grade heaven-class soul cores for you. I hope you can break through to level 1 Beast Emperor soon. Yi Chunfeng generously gave a large amount of heaven-rank spirit grasses and spirit pills to the Lingyu. Once the Lingyu broke through to become a rank 1 combat Beast Emperor, her strength would undergo an earth-shattering change, and she would become a powerful helper. Thank you, Brother Chunfeng. Looking at the elixirs and spiritual herbs that Yi Chunfeng gave her, spiritual fish's eyes curved into a crescent shape, revealing 2 cute dimples as she said sweetly, "Space devourer insect, these heavenly beast blood essences are for you." Yi Chunfeng was not stingy and gave almost all of the heavenly beast blood essences to the space devourer insect that was of great help to him. Thank you, Master. Looking at the large amount of heavenly beast blood essences in front of him, the space devourer insect's round eyes shone brightly. He opened his round mouth, that was full of sharp teeth, and swallowed all of the heavenly beast blood essences into his stomach. Alright, spiritual fish, space devourer insect, Return to the heaven and earth mirror to cultivate. I hope you can break through to the next realm as soon as possible. After saying that, Yi Chunfeng controlled the heaven and earth mirror and kept them inside. Phew. Yi Chunfeng sat cross-legged in the cabin and adjusted his breath for a while. He then took out the heavenly demon rope and controlled the God-Eater brain to continue studying this Tao skill that was of great help to him. After an unknown amount of time had passed, just as Yi Chunfeng had entered a meditative state and was immersed in cultivating the demonic demon rope, a series of hurried knocks suddenly rang out, waking him up from his cultivation state. I am cultivating, don't disturb me if there is nothing. Yi Chunfeng frowned slightly and said coldly, Young Master Feng, I have something to ask of you. Please open the door. A timid and shy voice sounded from outside the room. Yi Chunfeng frowned slightly. After hesitating for a while, he dispelled the restriction in the room and opened the door. What do you want from me? After opening the door, Yi Chunfeng showed a hint of surprise. He found that Lu Mang's most beautiful concubine was standing in front of him in a pink tulle nightgown, looking at him affectionately. Because the clothes on her body were too thin, large areas of her milk-like creamy skin were exposed. Her plump jade peaks were completely unrestrained, rising high up. A faint fragrance constantly entered his nose, stirring up his emotions. Young Master Feng, my husband asked me to come over and teach you the 36 forms of acacia. I know many postures. The Tulle woman looked at Yi Chunfeng's handsome face with hazy eyes and said coquettishly. Yi Chunfeng looked at the Tulle woman's blushing face, shook his head, and tactfully refused. I appreciate Brother Lu Mang's good intentions, but I don't want to cultivate that secret technique at the moment. Miss, please go back. Young Master Feng, do you dislike me for being dirty? Hearing Yi Chunfeng's refusal, the Tulle woman's face turned pale. She tightly bit her lips and said faintly, No, I have a wife. I think that secret technique should be cultivated with my wife. I am not used to cultivating it with an outsider. Yi Chunfeng sighed softly in his heart and explained. But if I go back like this, my husband will punish me. The Tulle woman said with teary eyes. Don't worry, if he punishes you, I will settle accounts with him. Yi Chunfeng said with some helplessness, All right, miss, you can go back. I am going to cultivate. After saying this, under the Tulle woman's resentful gaze, Yi Chunfeng closed the door, got rid of distracting thoughts, and continued cultivating the demonic demon chains. 30/30709 Mobile Reading Site. Book address. In order to facilitate your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support.